Peace, YouTube. This is YouTube. This is Flirt Room coming to today. Let me give the safe word because some of you are gonna be like, "That's not Flirt Room." It is. Oh, I forgot the safe word. Did I forget? NOJ Notch. That's the safe word. So anyway, checking on in. Peace, YouTube. This is Flirt Room coming to you today with a new topic of discussion and a bit of a celebration. So check on in. And yes, I'm wearing my new interdimensional shades that I got. Yes, I have interdimensional shades. And I got these shades to look into different dimensions. Now listen, my mother, my mother hates these shades. She said she hates my shades. She said they frighten her. So these are my new interdimensional shades. I actually got these shades to be able to see if I can see vortexes and different dimensions. So far I've only seen some weird glitches in the realm of my perception of my reality. But I think after time, maybe if I train myself, I'll be able to actually see the different vortexes. I know I'm just, you know I'm a geek, so it is what it is. So peace to the east, west, north, and south. Welcome for another topic of discussion. So a lot is going on, family. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the reality that we're coexisting in. And it looks like we have the Agent Smiths, end of the Agent Smiths and handlers time here in the Matrix. It looks like they are being omitted from our perception of a reality for some of us who have raised our frequency into another realm of consciousness. So let's get into the discussion, because basically many of us have been coexisting with some crazy narcs, some narcissists, some hybrid narcissists who have been taken over the planet, who have created a narrative of unhealthiness, of non-empathy, of abuse, of sex trafficking. These beings are absolutely disgusting. So we're going to get in the conversation that it's the end of the handler's time, the end of the Smiths, how it's all interplaying in all of the hands that are actually, we're actually seeing right now and perceiving. So, I'm going to give you a little bit of you're going to listen to a little bit of a clip from, if you don't know what a narcissist is, if you don't know the general consensus of a narcissist, I'm going to give you a little bit of a clip so we can talk about, and does this freak you out? My mother was frightened of my shades today. She really was, my mother, big up to my Matrix mom. My Matrix mom saw the shades today and she was like, Oh no. My mom she didn't want to come near me. She's like, what's that? I don't have a safe word for my mom. She just knows it's me because she has a geeky girl. She raised a little girl from Mount Vernon, New York. So she knows, she knows by me wearing shades like this that I'm really her daughter. The sad thing is that me wearing shades reminds her that, oh, that's my daughter. Oh, Rudolph of Germany only wears these glasses because of me. The only reason he wears the blue shades is because he followed my lead. Big up to Rudolph of Germany. Hey, Abu Dhabi. Thank you, Abu Dhabi. Thank you for the donation. So let's get into, I want to break it down first before we go into the conversation. And to give you a little bit of a...
If you have an old, slow computer,
I hate
you have to see this.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't give you a clear answer. Remember, a narcissist's agenda is to create crazy-making conversation. It's sort of like shadow boxing 3 ghosts. So imagine you're in a boxing ring, and you're getting punched in the face from 3 different boxers, or 4 different boxers, and they're ghosts. You can't see them. So a narcissist's agenda is to keep you off balance. And so if you're in a relationship with someone who cannot answer your questions, or who fails to give you clear, concise answers, that's a problem, dear one. And you will know that by how you feel in your body. And it's amazing to me that as we awaken as spiritual beings on this path of enlightenment, we discover that everything that we've been taught about ourselves is bullshit. Meaning, we are supposed to pay attention to how we feel. What a concept. From the day that we're born, we're taught that we're sinners, that we're not good enough, that we have to be worthy of our parents' attention and affection and validation, and that the way that we look isn't good enough, or if we're school-age children, our sneakers aren't cool enough, or our backpack isn't cool enough, or our hair isn't straight enough, or it's too curly, or it's too this, or it's too that, or our eyes or our skin color isn't the right color. I mean, it's just everything in our society. There are so many ways in which society at large tells us that we're not enough. So it's amazing to me that on this healing journey, we discover that everything that we've been taught about ourselves is complete bullshit. We are enough. We were always enough, and we will always be enough. That the fact that we are consciousness, living this reality, qualifies us to be enough. We don't have to prove ourselves worthy to anyone. I think the biggest aha moment for me was when I realized that, oh my freaking God, my feelings matter. Like seriously, what I think and what I feel about people matters. Another aha moment for me, and I'd like to share it with you all today, is when I realized the difference between judging someone and discerning. So when I'm judging someone, I can feel that in my gut. When I'm judging someone, and God knows I've been there, because I've been judged. And you only know how to judge because the data is there because you've been judged. And so whatever your parents or your past experiences, whatever they've been inputted into your brain. And so now your brain plays with that information. It's not your brain's fault. So we judge because we've been judged. When you're judging someone, you know it. You don't feel good. You feel ugly. You feel icky. You feel nasty. You feel mean. You feel it. You know that you're walking on the dark side when you're judging someone. When you're discerning, you're still in your light body. You're still in the spirit of light. When you're discerning, it sounds like this. Wow, I'm speaking to my friend. I just told her that I went to the movies last night and I love the movie, and she's a conversational narcissist. She just went right to talking about the movie that she saw last weekend. So what happens is narcissists, those types of narcissists, they use what psychologists call shift responses. So what they do is, and you'll notice it, and what I'm trying to do is make you aware of how people communicate so that you can discern. You can stay in your light body and discern what kind of person am I speaking to. You need to tap into the spirit of discernment so that you can keep yourself safe. And you can teach your children how to do this. And so a shift response sounds like this. Like I just said, I'll repeat it. So So Karen, I went to the movies last night, and Karen says, "Oh yeah, I went to the movies last week. You know what I saw? I saw Southpaw with Jake Gyllenhaal and blah blah blah." So as you can see, her response was unsupportive to my comment. So conversational narcissists, they have to be seen in the conversation. They have to somehow bring the conversation back to themselves. They have a very difficult time being able to support other people. Now, it's really, you have to also check yourself, see if, when you're speaking to people, if you do that. I know that I've done that unknowingly and unawareingly. And the more that I learned about my own...
Okay, I just wanted to do that. Yes, this is Lisa Romano. She's amazing. She talks about narcissism. And I'm going to connect the dots. And I love Lisa Romano because she was the only one, other than when I talk about it, because some people think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, who said, a narcissist isn't human. I know I look crazy. Let me take my glasses off. Listen, a narcissist is not human. They aren't human. You know why? Because humans have a compassion gene. Humans have a gene inside of them that actually allows for them to feel pain or empathy or compassion for others. Family, we've been living on a planet with those who are not human. We've been coexisting with entities that are implanted, genetically homogenized hybrids that have been placed here amongst us. And then we wonder why we're going cuckoo when they say, oh, you're too sensitive. Oh, why do you care about those people? Those are not you. Those are non-humans. Those are the Smiths. Those are the empty seaters. Those are the gray overlay hybrids that they placed in our environment to cause us to feel as if being human is unnatural. If you don't get a chance, I'm going to put the link of Lisa Romano. It's a wonderful video. She talks about the empathy gene. And just the fact that we talk about hybriding and that many of the beings here are without the empathy gene because they've been homogenized by Willy Wonka and his dark League of Doom. And they've created these beings that we walk amongst that are toxic, that are horrific, that are energy vampires, that are feeding off of you, that create chaos so that they can feed off of your loathing, your sadness, your fear, and your anxiety. They've done this, but let me give you good news. The end of the world as we know it is occurring now. The end times has now begun for those Smiths, those agents and handlers that have been creating a form of dysentery on this earth. I just got word that they are now being omitted in the droves. Okay, so all of these handlers that are being distributed amongst us to keep you on your toes, to keep you distracted, to keep you forever realizing that you are actually a rational humanoid, a human earthling, and that these beings have been set forth in order to cause havoc in your own self, in your own conscious state of being. They are being removed in the droves. I know I say that improperly, right? Non-properly when I say that. So let's get into it. And you know what's interesting? I had, before I got the intel, I was seeing like those agents, Smiths, and those beings, those narcissists, those hybrid narcissists. Now, let me give you an example of Narcs. Many of you know and have been in contact with basic Narcs your entire life. You've been attacked by them. Many of you have been traumatized by them. These are your basic bullies. These are people that walk around the world creating chaos and basically have no care in the world of how they hurt you. They walk around, it's interesting. So I'm seeing these beings consequences being distributed to beings that normally get away with basic sociopathic behavior. And I was like, wait a second. Is something occurring? So this is before I got my interdimensional glasses. I know that, listen, I got these glasses and I'm supposed to be able to pierce into other dimensions. Like I said, I've only seen little layers and I wanted to wear them. I know that you think you're the only people that will accept me. My mother was terrified when she saw me in these glasses. She didn't know what to do, but she knew it was me because she knows her daughter. So I wanted to see if I could pierce through the dimensions or actually see the wormhole, the portals. And all I saw was like a pink, like haze somewhere. And I don't know if that was right or not. So I don't know if it works yet. I can't really tell you if it works yet. I've been using them only for 24 hours. So we'll see how it works. I'll let you know if it works. And then I do it with one eye. I know I'm a geek. I'm such a nerd. I'm such a nerd. I do it with one eye because sometimes your perception changes if you have one eye like covered or open while I'm seeing through here. Because sometimes the right eye might, I know. I'm sorry. Let me get back to the topic. I'm just saying. I'm your fleur brune. If you're okay, I have moments. Anyway, so it's interesting that I was noticing that a lot of the underlay narcs, the narcissist, like the secret narcissist. Now people will say, what are if you don't know what a narcissist is, narcissists are beings that walk around with non-empathy and non-sympathy, creating havoc or just creating a world that is only based on their wants and needs and generating a field of support to allow them to always be in perpetual self-motivation. Okay, so narcs are usually violators of your peace of mind. These are a lot of your CEOs, they're narcissists. Some of you are married to narcissists. Some of you have dated narcissists. I had a friend who would just, a friend who had a boyfriend who would just get mad at her for just being who she was and just would disappear without telling her anything. That's a secret narcissist. To just disappear and wouldn't say goodbye, wouldn't say what he had a problem with her, and just would disappear. And she would feel she would be in a self-loathing, blaming herself, like, why would he just do that? He didn't even tell me he was going. He just disappeared, just blanked out. Those are covert narcissists. Be mindful of the covert narcissists. They walk around secretively like they're good people, but really they're covert. They walk around just being like doing covert abuses. Like they'll do things underhandedly to mess with your peace of mind, and then they hide their hand at the time you're looking to see who threw, like someone threw like a snowball and hit your face, and then you look around to see who did it, and they're like, those are the covert narcissists. Okay, those are the ones you have to really watch out for, because they're the ones who do a lot of the dirt. Those are the ones who kill people and then bury them in their own backyard, and then have a barbecue with a whole bunch of neighbors, right on the next day after they just buried their somebody they killed. That's a bit sociopathic, but those are like severe narcs where they just do have abusive things, and they haven't any clue. They have no empathy if people die. Sicknesses don't bother them. They're I don't know if anybody saw the old movie Juice. Did anyone ever see the old movie Juice with Tupac Shakur? Do you guys remember that movie Juice? Okay, do you remember when what's his name, Bishop? Tupac played Bishop, and I was terrified when I saw that movie. I was nervous. Like after I saw that movie, I didn't want to see another movie like it. He played like he was at his homeboys, and then he killed his own homeboy, and then he went to the funeral being all kind and everything to the mother. That's a sociopathic narcissist. That's a classic sociopathic narcissist. They're the ones who do the harm to someone, and then they're the first people to come to the rescue, and they're covert, and they just hide almost by doing so much extra, so they would never be one to be called to accountability, because they wouldn't be the one you would ever think could do that. Okay, the covert narcissist is the ones you really should watch out for. Like I said, those are people who dip out without telling you things. Those are very non-accountable beings. Okay. But let me bring into why they're hybrids, okay? And this is why I love Lisa that she did. These aren't humans, family. That is not a human disposition. That isn't an earthling disposition to be that far removed. People who aren't compassionate towards other people, it doesn't matter what complexion, doesn't matter what tongue, when generally a true earthling, a natural earthling will see someone getting hurt on the other side of the country. It doesn't matter what country they come from, they automatically feel badly. They all automatically feel compassion. Sometimes they'll cry about it and say, oh my gosh. They feel a connection. They're able to connect with the beings no matter where they're from, because they feel a connection to another human being, and they can empathize with whatever scenario or whatever tragedy that other human being is going through. Narcissists, narcs, basic sociopathic narcissist hybrid beings, they don't have that component. It's not in their gene pool because they aren't human. They aren't human, and they are proponing themselves as human beings to you. But meanwhile, these are hybrids that walk around and could care less if the planet fell apart, because they're not vested in the humanity's survival. They're not vested into the happiness of their human family, because they aren't human. And we have to get that through our heads, that all this time that many of us have been traumatized, these have been by beings that aren't even quantified to being one of us. And they have literally let them loose here to cause chaos and havoc. And also, some of these are energy vampires. So the basis of their nutritional staple is your woes, is your sadness, is your anxiety. They feed off of that. That's their food. That's like you going and having to have a nice fresh salad with a lot of capers, and maybe you put some, some hemp hearts in there. That's your nutrition. Their nutrition is your sadness. Their nutrition is your confusion. Their nutrition is your anxiety. That's what they eat. Your energy. So in order for them to feed and to have a healthy serving of their basic core nutrition, they would have to invoke in you or create scenarios of sadness, anger, or confusion in order for you to emit an energetic field that they can suck off of, feed off of energetically. These loosh, thank you, Mimi, loosh. And this is why we have a problem with these nasty deities running rampant on our earth, taking children, kidnapping children and killing them, and also taking sex trafficking. These aren't humans, family. And they aren't the kind of extraterrestrials or even hybrids. Remember, hybrids don't have a connection, or that's why it's very important that you know this. Hybrids don't really have a connection to anything because they're non-natural. They're not there or here. They aren't anywhere. They aren't vested with their makers because their makers have messed with their genomes and have mixed them with some of us. So they don't know how to respond humanly because they aren't quantified as us. So because of that, they aren't able to pull in the emotional the emotional connectivity to being one of us, because they don't have enough of that gene in them, not enough of that DNA, and they can't totally quantify themselves as hybrid. I mean, as the creators, as the whether it's extraterrestrials or interdimensionals, they can't really connect to them fully either because they're not fully them. So let me just state there, I got word that the Agent Smiths and handlers are being omitted from your Matrix video interactive game right now. They are literally being deleted by some of our higher forms of ourselves. It's us who are heading our avatars, who are starting to push the delete on handlers that are trying to incept and trying to interfere into the lives of the light workers, those here for the ascension process, or those who are volunteers to assist with those ascending. So right now you're starting to see those who are normally what you know to be the troublemakers, the bullies, the interceptors, the colonistic hybrid mindscape bastards. You're starting to see a lot of them being deleted from your lives. And I want you to acknowledge it, accept it, as it'll allow your hologram to show up in a way that will be more cohesive to you. I didn't know it was true. When I get the intel, I always like to vet it out. But when I started to see that even in my basic life, anyone who was considered to be a narcissist, a handler, some sort of like Agent Smith, they aren't here anymore. They've been omitted, either by themselves or by outer factors that take them out. So by that being said, you have to acknowledge it in order to make sure that that stays set in your settings. It's almost like you have a computer, you have a computer program, and you've computer programmed certain beings to show up at certain times. You get certain gifts, you have tools that assist you while you're in this interactive video game we call the Matrix. And as you are interfacing with these different things, you gain wisdom, you gain certain more tools, you get higher level, you get to a higher level, and then you start interfacing with higher level beings. But what's happening is that we're in the setting time where everything has to be cleared, meaning that we're going into a new cycle. So everything has to be cleared off. So all data, all old lasting data has to be deleted. So now when your villains in your interactive video game, the Agent Smiths, the handlers that were assigned to you based on whether you assigning them to yourself or Willy Wonka throwing them in the mix to cause you to be a little imbalanced, they are starting to be omitted. And part of that omission is you acknowledging that these beings aren't in your field anymore. And when you acknowledge it, you solidify it, you set it. It's a new setting. So once you acknowledge that these beings aren't there and that you're all good in the hood and that your world is a lot cleaner, a little more aesthetically pleasing, you acknowledging it allows for that to set in your holographic experience. So I just got word that the handler Smiths, the end times are here, family. Now, you know what's interesting? There are so many beings online who are like, oh my God, the Armageddon, the end of the world as we know it. Yes. You know why they're frightened? Because it is the end of the world of their control, of the manipulation, of the lies, of the causing imbalance. It is their issue. So yes, so make sure you aren't pulling yourself into their woes or their ish. They started beef, so don't start none, won't be none. If you started it, then by all means, you all have to end with what you started. So make sure you aren't pulling into another's paradigm or another's perception in their reality, because you'll pull yourself into their settings. And then you'll start to work in the alignment of someone else's holographic projection. And that's where that hive-minded thing, that's where Super Bowls comes into play. That's when they do all these mass rituals. That's when they have all these like wars and rumors of wars. They want to pull you into that projection so that you play. You're pushing the green button, say, okay, bam, I'm in, I'm playing this video game. You're in your own reality and you can co-create whatever it is that you deem is worthy for you to balance you out, level you up, what have you. But if you start to go into the hive projection that the Matrix will drive you into based on propaganda, based on fear, based on family that is non-awake and aware, then you will end up pushing that green X to enter into that World War III, which could be chaotic in that projection, in that, in that game. If you're choosing to omit yourself or not even participate in that, you will be coexisting in the world that you co-create right now, because we're all good. I'm telling you, if you accept that everything is all gravy and you're, like I said, you have a beautiful roof over your head, you have people in your life, whether it's one or just you, who are doing well, that's all you have to acknowledge, and then you have to co-create from there. We're ending the cycle. But the ones who are more fearful are the ones who are going to propel themselves into something, a scenario, projection-wise, holographic-wise, into a scenario that will solidify their fears. So if they're talking about, Alex Jones was like a fear-mongering, like a fear-mongering being. Oh, the NWA and the New World Order. The New World Order isn't what you think. They're telling you that because they don't want that. That's unity consciousness. That's one earthling on one planet. That's a united front. They're telling to you like it's bad, just like the 13th. Oh, don't go to the 13th floor. Oh, the Friday the 13th is negative. Oh, the black cat is bad luck. Everything that they tell you has been a lie. It is smoke and mirrors. They are projecting to you what they want you to accept. Whether you accept it is totally up to your free will. So by the very past that they've shown you that that's what they do, level up and acknowledge that these beings are flip mode. They're flip mode beings. They want to project to you their fears. They're afraid of the Armageddon. They're fear of the end of times. They're fear of a one world united front, because that isn't what they've wanted. They want to subjugate, they want to divide us, they want to cause coups, they want to cause confusion, they want to dominate, they want to subjugate. That's them. That isn't us. If we're going into one world order, best believe it will be into unity consciousness, which I've been speaking about for the last 7 years. Unity 0 point, going back into oneness, being one entity on one planet. Doesn't matter what tongue you speak, doesn't matter what language you've grown up with, doesn't matter what culture, doesn't matter what complexion. You are an earthling. That is their fear. Their fear is us coming collectively together. So they're being omitted. So if you now are in households, and I have to talk to my nieces. Hold on, let me calm down. I get so excited. Welcome to the new paradigm, family. Let me calm down and let me get my glasses and get set up. Okay, so let me get my glasses on. Let me get back into my mode. Let's take a break. Please put likes on the video if you're in for this conversation, please. Okay, please join us. If you're down for unity consciousness, put a like on the video. If you are up for the wonderful oneness of healthiness of Mother Tiamat being down with Mother Gaia, put a like on the video. Good night, family. I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna see if I see anything in here. Cherries in the house. I'm stocking up for the Armageddon. I'm bulking up for the Armageddon. Come on in. Oh, Abu Dhabi, you want to call? Should I make it a call night? Oh, this is more exciting. Okay, so Abu Dhabi, maybe I'll do a call. Okay, so I may just set up the block talk just for you to call in. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. But let me get into this, okay? So we're going into 0 point. This is where we're going. We're heading into the full-on pole shift. Listen, I've got the champagne. Big up to everyone, champagne. I have my champagne glass. I don't have any punch. There isn't any punch or champagne in here, but there are cherries. I am celebrating because this is a beautiful time. I am accepting unity consciousness. I am excited to enter into the golden age. I'm okay to usher in the age of Aquarius. I am grateful to assist Mother Gaia in all that she requires. She is a sentient being. I am down for whatever is necessary. I make sure I compost. I make sure I recycle everything. I make sure I'm mindful of all beings on this planet. I do that. And I make sure that I keep myself healthy and holistic and mindful of all that everything outside of myself. Okay, so we're going into new paradigm. Now, mind you, they are now, let me say this to our Iranian family on here. We have many people from the Middle East that are part of our family. Some of them are human, some are not. A lot of them are Lyrian based. So big up to our family who are from the Middle East, especially from Palestine and Pakistan and from Iraq and from Kuwait and from Jordan. We have a lot of family from Jordan, from Saudi Arabia, from Libya. Big up to you. We are going to support our healthy family. I am unwavered. I am unfazed by their projection, their lies of mass destruction. I will support you in your healthiness. When I see our beautiful family, whether you worship 5 times a day, whether you wear your robes to be modest or not. I will acknowledge you as a human being, as an earthling on this planet. Know that when you walk to me and you're around me and mine, I will regard you as an earthling. I won't participate in another form of, debaucherous judgment or, witch hunting of another human being on this planet, because I am aware that I've been everything. I am everything. You are a reflection of me and I'm a reflection of you. If I haven't been you in this life, I have been you in the past life or in a future life. So let me just state that to our family abroad, because right now they're going to attempt to demonize. They do this all the time. Just, this is what they do. And I accept that that's what they do. That doesn't have anything to do with me, but I am a non-participant. Let me just state this. I'm a non-participant, and I acknowledge that beings of light represent themselves in all complexions, all tongues, all languages, all species, and I acknowledge that. So let me just put that out there, because there are people going out saying the most horrendous things. They're ignorant, and a lot of them are capped consciously. A lot of these are the clones and the empty seaters. These are capped human beings. And when I talk about capped human beings, let me go into that real quick before I open phone lines. When I talk about capped beings, genetically homogenized humans that have been homogenized with animals or other balanced beasts, they are capped purposefully so that they can help move the herd in a specific agenda direction. They're created. So all these beings, who is a capped human being? Those who sit and watch Super Bowls all day and think that's actually a real sport. Okay, a reptilian sport that was created to allow men to look at other men's rectal cavity and to pull them into an agenda so that they would abuse their female counterparts in order to obsess with whatever, male dominating patriarchy they were trying to propel us into. Those are capped human beings. People who are still walking around thinking that politics is real, that there isn't an umbrella at the top where both parties sit comfortably, all parties sit comfortably, orchestrating things 20, 30 years prior, creating wars and rumors of wars for their amusement and for your demise. Those are people who still believe in that. Okay, so those are capped conscious beings. These are the people who believe in suppressing other people, believing that all brown people are hood rats and they're lower beings, and then all those who believe that lunar people are devils and non-humans. These are all capped human beings. If you're those people who still have biases, still hate people, still misuse your power to suppress another, still make excuses for abuses or bullying someone else, those who don't even love their children and have ignored their children's needs for their own selfish purposes, those are all capped, genetically homogenized human beings. I wouldn't expect them to really resonate here with us, because they are at a level of limitation, almost like a retard. When I say retard, I mean it in a real way, not to disrespect any special needs. I'm talking about real tard. When someone's retard, they're capped. They're retarded from going further. Okay, these are those beings. We aren't talking about them. I wouldn't expect for them to get it, because intellectually they are stuck and they were genetically homogenized to be so. Okay, and then you have beings here that are clones. They don't even know that they're clones sometimes. They're replicated beings that are just here to uphold the standards of the Matrix, okay? And then there are those who are holographic beings. You think they're real, and they're just, once you move away from them, they disappear because they aren't real. Those are holographic beings. There's a lot of non-earthlings that are walking amongst you. So that's why I say try to prevent pulling into other people's agendas or motivations, because you don't know who you're siding with or what the motivation behind them projecting this agenda, okay? Because a lot of times them wanting to hate another species is because Iran has more resources, and they probably made an agreement to go and create a pseudo war so that they can exchange without the people being upset, or that they know that the pole shift's about to pop off, so they're trying to get rid of a lot of people so they don't have as many empty eaters on the planet, creating more, carbon monoxide. So they want to get rid of a few. So they create a fake pseudo war to get rid of, the lower tiers of people. That's what they consider them. So they're going to create a pseudo draft bring in people who are non-aware and just try to clear off the planet as much as possible so they can kind of come back after the pole shift. This is my personal opinion. So I'm just saying, make sure you aren't pulling into that paradigm. Those are empty seaters. Those are people that are holographic beings. There are hybrids on the planet. There are clones here that are unaware of their existence. Then there's deities that are in bodies of people who do drugs and alcohol. Those beings are just here just to create chaos, fight, flight, and fornicate. Those are very reptilian type of beings. We got them all. That isn't our business. Just be aware if you walking in the hood, just make sure you keep your keys and close your car doors and lock them. If you're walking in the hood, you want to make sure you're not wearing a purse on the outside. You may want to stash your money in your bra. So I'm just saying, know where you are. This is the times we're at. So, you can engage and non-engage, but, observe, just keep a healthy distance. Okay. So, right now, they're demonizing a particular country, and that country is known to be where you have a huge oil field that was just discovered. Also, it's a country where they're more independent. They were being sanctioned, and once the sanctions were implemented, they found that they could become independent. And nice snakes Willy Wonka can't possibly have you be independent. Willy Wonka has to have a hand in all the candy. You can't have candy without Willy Wonka being a part of it. How dare you? How dare you, Iran, have candy and Willy Wonka can't have a party to it? How dare you have a whole line of candy, all these candies, and Willy Wonka can't have it? Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna open up the phone lines. We're gonna get into the shenanigans tonight. I hope you're here for the discussion. Hold on. And for the handlers, I wanted to really go into the handlers. Hold on. Let me just do this while you guys are waiting patiently. Hold on. Let me make sure. And what's so funny about the handlers is that many of you have been suffering from handler overdose, because as soon as you seem to get rid of one handler, it seems like they like to distribute a handler to replace one that has been, omitted based on being non-functional, not doing what it's supposed to do. Hold on. But they're not redistributing handlers anymore. This is what I'm saying. They're starting to rid themselves, and I think it's just because of the clearing. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a minute. The number is 515-605-9881. So if you're calling in, you can call in the phone lines. You can discuss what you feel. Are you going to be a participant? Some people want to participate in the holographic war. So tell me if you're a participant, if you feel like you want to participate. Tell me if your handlers are still present. Have your handlers dissipated? Have they reestablished another handler to replace the other one that did not do the job that they were supposed to do? Let's see what's going on. I would love to hear your opinions. Hold on, let me get into it. Okay. All right, so the number is 515-605-9881. If you want to call in, hold on, I'm creating it now. If you want to call in, leave a comment, share your input. What do you feel about what's going on? Do you feel connected? Are you coming from some of the bloodlines of those who are connected to some of these demonized bloodlines that they're trying to, cause issues with? Hold on. Where's my... Hold on. Hold on, family. Okay, and please put a like on the video. We have a lot of people in here tonight. I guess y'all all have handlers. I think the handlers might be on here tonight. Are any handlers on here? I wouldn't mind you calling in handlers. There's a new number here in the other dimension. I think we hit another dimension. So there's another number here. It's 425. We have people calling in already. 292-4444. That's the other number calling in. Oh, let me call in. Hold on. Let me call in my own phone line. Hold on. It'd be nice if I call in my own station. Hold on. Okay.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please enter your host PIN. When finished, press the pound key. To start your show now, press 1. Since it appears you're calling back into a live show, we are reconnecting you now.
Oh, boss says you don't mind if I handle your mind?
Your show will go live in 5 seconds.
I don't know about that.
3, 2, 1.
Okay. All right, we got callers already. So if you're calling in, you're gonna listen, we're gonna make it. If you're calling in, please put a like on it. Oh, we got 666 as a number of people in here. For all those 669 people, please put a handy dandy like on the video if you want to hear more of what's going on. You want me to stay on a little longer. We're going to talk to people who feel, listen, Flirtburn isn't about you agreeing with me. I want your real opinions. If you feel yay or nay, by all means, share your opinion. If you're a non-human entity and you are here for the icks and giggles and you're trying to feed off humanity, please share that with us. We're okay as long as you're respectful. We will listen to your opinion. So please, if you're calling, please push the number 1. We want new callers. I know we have normal people calling in. Push the number 1 if you have please push the number 1 if you have a call or question. Okay, and we'll leave it to 5 minutes unless it's something really that needs to be discussed. If you are somebody who's here to destroy the planet, we want to know why you're motivated to do so. We want to know what world you come from. If you are a time traveler and you've come from a futuristic timeline, from how many ever timelines you come from, we're interested in hearing your conversation tonight. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to take the first caller, 1822. You're on the line with Fleur Room. Peace, family. 1822.
Hey.
I'm doing well. Oh, wait, my speaker. Oh, wait, my speaker. Hold on. I don't know why I'm not getting you in. Hold on, Sunstar. Okay, talk a little more.
All right. I have 2 questions. Is it normal to get interruptions when you're talking about like twin souls or twin flames on the phone? I had an incident recently on the phone.
Yes.
With one of my homegirls, and I was talking about twin souls, and I was telling her that I think this particular person that she was talking to was a twin soul, and out of nowhere I get like a high pitched noise in my phone, so I like immediately hanged up because I got like scared because I thought my phone was tapped, and so I hung up. I texted her and was like, "Did you hear that?" And then she called me back and told me that she didn't hear anything. She just heard that I went mute, so I wasn't sure like what that experience was.
Thank you, Akita. I appreciate it. Thank you. That is very normal. Let me state this, because a lot of people really are anti. I personally think that those people that are anti-twin souls, they're either Satanists, Luciferian, or they have been capped and they aren't into unity consciousness. This is my personal opinion. Call me a little egregious by thinking that. But yes, anytime there seems to be a discussion about twin flames or twin souls, for some reason there is a lot of interference, whether it's through phone calls or people following you, tapping your lines. Even here, when I have discussions about twin flames, it's the most incepted of a lot of my telecommunication. So yes, that's very normal. For some reason, I don't know quite why they're so resistant, but we can't stop, won't stop. We're gonna twin regardless. So yeah, I think it is. Now she didn't hear it, but you did, right?
Yeah, I heard the high frequency pitch noise. It was scary. It was almost as if like my ears were ringing, but I knew it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was just very alarming to me.
So are you
question is,
are you twinning?
Yeah, I'm twinning right now. I'm supposed to be meeting my twin in March, actually.
Oh.
She's supposed to be coming from Florida, and she's coming to PA.
What?
But like as of lately, I've been like having like weird dreams. The last dream that I had was Wesley Snipes was in my dream, and a team of other people. I was in an interrogation room. Yeah. And long story short, we were me and my twin flame in my dream were going to the airport. I guess we were supposed to go on a family vacation, and then I ended up getting like apprehended, and they put me in this interrogation room. Wesley Snipes was in there, and they were asking me where my twin flame was from. They were asking her where her mother was from, and what their business was on this earth. Yes. And another thing that kind of like alarmed me was before that even happened, we were at a Dunkin' Donuts, and the Dunkin' Donuts that we were at was like under construction. So metaphysically, I like took that as like, all right, Earth is going through like a reset. They said Earth is like a donut shape. Yes. So I took that as like as a symbol that
0 point.
Earth is going through a reset and it's under construction right now.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, literally they asked me in the interrogation room what was going on, and they told me if I wanted to go on the plane with her, that they were gonna try to like hire me to like pretty much spy on her, and then the dream ended. And after that, I immediately told my twin soul. She didn't really understand what was going on. Yeah. Like she said it was like way past her like understanding, but she like believed everything that I said. After I told her, she was like, "What do you think it means?" And I like broke it down, and like it's weird because like at first when I had the dream, I had no clue what it meant. But like as I was like explaining it to her, it was like all the downloads started coming in.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Now this is amazing, and it's even more amazing that during the conjunction, it looks like you guys are coming together during the conjunction time, which is March. March 22nd is that conjunction. The New Year's is the 21st. The twins are supposed to, I feel that this information based on the Age of Aquarius song, the Song of Aquarius, and also the Dark Crystal. It looks like this conjunction is happening March 22nd. This is when I've come up with the consensus that the twins are supposed to come together for that conjunction, like the Skeksis and the Mystics. You're actually meeting in March? Mm-hmm. You're right on time.
Yes, she said she's coming in March. Yeah. We're trying to meet in December of 2019. Yes. But she wouldn't allow me to meet her for some reason. She just told me that she thinks it's best that we meet in March. She wanted me to meet her family and all. And like I've been watching your videos and I've been watching how you was talking about like there's a conjunction in March. Yes. And it all like clicked and synchronized with me.
This is crazy that she even wants to do it because she doesn't know that. See, I love when you...
No, she doesn't.
She doesn't know, and she set up the march. You didn't do that, she did.
Yeah, she set up... Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Welcome, twin. It's nice to meet another one of our twins. I'm meeting all the twins. Big up to you. I support your union and your solidification. Hopefully, we'll be able to go on our mothership and leave this particular time frame, this 3D dense world, and go with Mother Tima to her higher realm, because these beings in here on this planet are out of control. That we need to permeate into higher realms, and we kick off the pole shift. So it's so nice to meet you.
I have one last question.
Sure.
This one is important to me.
Yes.
How do you deal with narcissistic parents? Like I feel as that I don't know. I always felt like my parents weren't really my parents. Like they were like matrix parents, and like I only came through them to just be able to come into this world and do what I have to do. I just noticed like as like I started to.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I realized that like I started to gain like wisdom and started going deep within that. Like I don't know. Like I felt like my parents always like went against my beliefs, and they never really tried to help me. Like even this morning, I was having breathing issues, and I felt like I was gonna like die in my sleep. And I urged my mother to take me to the emergency room, and she denied me to get treatment. So I literally had to like sneak outside of my house just to go to the emergency room.
I'm
and it's just
sorry.
like, I don't know, like to me that's just a little bit weird.
I'm so sorry, my love. I'm so sorry. That bothers me. No, that.
Thank you.
Let me say this. You don't know something, and we're gonna have to talk behind closed offline, because there's something that me and the twins have discovered, and you just stated something that we discovered. So I can't say it publicly because that's how we're able to vet out other twin flames. Some things I have to keep so that when another twin shows up, we know it's one of us. So there's something that you're correct about. So I'll say that aspect. But how you deal with narcissistic people, just generally, it doesn't matter if it's parents or outside factors, siblings, is you have to non-personalize their disconnect. You have to I know it's very hard, my love, because you sound so young, and I'm sorry that this is something that's affecting you with your mom and your parents. But I will say that a lot of times what's happening is that narcissists, and I call them handlers because sometimes they're one and the same, they're purposefully set into our lives to limit us, to cause sadness, to cause confusion and anxiety, so that we're unable to level up. Just the fact that you're calling in here, my love, means you've already made that decision to level up. And I want you to know that it isn't necessarily personal what narcissists do. It's really actually non-personal. I want you to try to see when she's engaged in this way of not being connective to you, that you don't personalize it, because you realize that you love yourself enough to do what's necessary for your own survival, for your own healthiness, for your own, your successes. And try not to personalize her poor behavior or her lack of connectivity to anything that has to do with you. You're beautiful, and I could just sense it right now, okay? And just try to, my love, just try to, see her as a being like another species. Like, would we get mad at a snake for being a snake and eating like a little cute little squirrel? Could we get mad at the snake for being a snake? We couldn't, right? Because we would understand that species, that's what they do. They feed on little unsuspecting little prey, and that's how they nurture them. That's how they're able to get their nutrition. You have to see narcissists as the same. They feed off of people's sadness, or they're unable to connect with others based on, sometimes it could be her traumas as a child. We don't know, maybe your mom has been traumatized as a child and she's been unable to.
I totally feel that I totally feel that she's been traumatized. It even got worse to the point that she called my aunt and told her a whole different narrative. An hour ago, my cousin called me and was like, "Yeah, my mom called me saying that you went missing last night, and I only left this morning to go to the emergency room."
Aww.
So it's just like, there again, like I said, there again, like there's another plot right there that she's been causing. So it's just like, I can tell that her pain is so deeply rooted that she like causes a lot of pain on others, including my siblings, and she uses a lot of her I guess her peers or her supporters, like that she talks to on the phone, and lashes out and tells them everything that's going on, but really it's not really the same narrative as like what was really going on.
She can tell them that.
That's if she's using that as like fuel to make her feel better. Yeah,
the fact that she isn't honest about it, see, that lets me know she's covert, because covert, we talked about that, and I would love for you to listen to Lisa. What's her name again? Can you guys put her name in there? Lisa Romano. I'm going to put her link in there. I want you to listen to her. She's really helpful. She has a lot of amazing tips on dealing with narcissistic, sociopathic type of personalities. I think it would be helpful. And I think the fact that your mom is hiding that she acknowledges she did something wrong, because if she didn't know and she was just mindlessly doing it, she wouldn't hide it. It would just be like, and then people would be like, "Oh my God, you did it to your son." She's hiding it. So she's a covert narcissist. She does cruel things, and she has a non-connectivity, and she realizes it isn't right. That's why she changes the narrative to others in order to cloak who she truly is.
Yes.
So she acknowledges something's wrong with her.
Yes,
she does.
She she even went out of her way to tell me, because when I was in the emergency room, I didn't tell her that I was leaving because I didn't even want to intervene with her at all.
Yeah.
So as I'm like laying in the hospital bed, she called me and asked me where I'm at, and I told her I'm in the emergency room, and she told me when did I leave, and I told her this morning, and then she got mad and furious, and then I was like, I told you I wasn't feeling good, that I was gonna go on my own, either with or without you. If I don't feel good, I'm gonna take myself to the
Absolutely,
hospital.
baby.
So I took an Uber there, and she told me next time I have an emergency or I'm about to like face death, to just take myself to the hospital next time. And then that was our conversation.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. Let's take a deep breath. This is a being that isn't connected. Let me share this with you. A mother is supposed to be nurturing, loving, and protective. Okay? This isn't what she's displaying. This has nothing to do with you. This has only to do with her. This is her issue. It isn't yours, my love. It isn't. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. As a mom, I can't imagine you having to go through this and then being frightened for your own survival, just your health, just not knowing if something was wrong, dangerously wrong, and something going on with you. But I want you to just try to see her from a wounded standpoint, and you're already leveling up. And if it's possible, are you living with mom? Are you living with mommy?
Yeah, I currently left my dad because he was being emotionally abusive towards my siblings, so I left that house.
Okay.
And so I went to live with my mom, and yeah, it's kind of the same type of program right now. So
and this
at
could
this
be
point, I'm just trying to get a second job so I can.
Okay, but
I'm just trying to get a second job so I can move down south.
Okay. I want you to see this also as a spiritual lesson, because remember, we aren't victims on this planet, and there could be a lesson. There is a lesson spiritually to you interfacing and seeing this and being affected by this. You know, we don't know where you were in your past life. If you accept that there's past lives, there may be something that needs to be healed within yourself. And this is why you're having two parents, because it seems like you're getting the double amount of it. So it means that you have to see something about it and empower yourself to supersede the level of maybe imbalance or limitation that comes with having two parents that are very disconnected. I think but the fact that you're calling in here so strong and you just came from a hospital, you're that type of being. You're capable of superseding all of this. You're never given more than you can actually handle, and you're actually doing well. I'm so grateful to witness and talk to you, knowing that you just went through this, and you could call in and just ask, just what can be done for some tools to assist you in dealing with these type of beings.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I saw that you went live, and I got excited because I was like, yeah, this is what I needed, because I felt so confused and lost and abandoned that I didn't even know what to do at this point. You're loved. Know that. You have a team with you. Thank you again.
Yeah, you have a team, my love. I want you to always remember, we have a spiritual team. You got a posse on Broadway. You got a posse around you energetically. And you can feel it because you have a strong energy on you. You have a posse with you. If ever you feel scared or you feel confused, I want you to call upon those who are your guides, those who are with you. They're with you. You may not be able to see them. Usually if you ask, they'll allow you to feel them. I want you to call them when you're scared. Okay?
I will. Okay.
And
thank you.
And ask them for peace. Sometimes if you're really frightened or you feel like your health is being is questionable, just ask them to bring you peace, to bring you clarity, and they'll do it. I promise you that. That I know for certain, but you have to ask, okay?
Okay.
And I support your journey.
Thank you so much.
Okay, and I wish you well, and keep in touch, okay? You know my email. Just hit me up, and if you ever feel a certain way, we have a lot of mommies and abuelas on here, a lot of female energy, and they're sending you a lot of love. For all our family on here, all the mommies and the abuelas and all the aunties and big sisters, can you please send waves of energy to our family here? Send them waves of love and support and empowerment so that he feels it, so he can feel that in, so it can regenerate and regenerate him and also assist him to get to another point of reference so that he can supersede this and leave the scenario.
I appreciate this so much. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. And stay strong. Promise me you'll stay strong. Can you do that?
I promise.
Okay. And whenever it feels too tough, that it feels like you're almost there, I want you to promise to go to your guides. And this, like, close your eyes and ask for them, and they'll come to you. And you'll get hugs and you'll get assistance.
Thank you.
Okay? And a happy twinnings. Just keep in touch, okay? All right, my love.
I will.
All
Thank
right.
you so much.
Peace.
Thank you. Peace.
Oh my God. This is why it's very important for us to be very supportive of one another. Many of us are the black sheeps of the family. Many of us have undergone this level of tyranny, and this is a young man. He's young and green, and just the fact that he is experiencing this, I think it's beautiful that he's able to call in, because I can feel his strength. He's much more powerful than I think he even acknowledges. But just the fact that this is occurring, this is a good testament, and also it's a good example for those who are going through this. So all the mommies, all the women, I ask for everyone to give love, but I know our mommies, you have a lot of love in you. Send him all that love and encouragement. He needs it. All right, I'm going to go to our next caller. 8121, you're on the line with Flurburn. Peace, family. 8121. Peace.
Hello?
Hello. Peace.
Hello?
Hello. Hi. You're on the line with Flurburn.
I don't know if you can hear me, but this is real needing.
I can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, this is real needy calling out of Louisiana.
Hey, how are you?
Okay, all right. Yeah, but that number you just said, that's not the number I'm calling from. I'm calling from a 337 number.
But I'm calling out your last four numbers. I didn't call out the first three. That's why.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
This is
okay.
my first time doing it, but
That's okay.
I've been watching your material a lot. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. You are very, very, very influential, and you got a lot of that brightness. You know, you got the. I don't know if that other guy was hearing me or whatever, but I don't know. That's why I just couldn't believe it that he was saying what he was saying, because it's like the twin, like it's almost as if everybody's walking the same path.
Yes.
Or if not the same path, it's kind of like we experiencing the same thing, but we like in different bodies.
Yes.
You know, and
Yes.
it's not.
You got it. That's the twinning. You got it. Oh my God, I'm excited.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But it's like when we was talking, and remember, I know I'm a 1320. I know what a 1320 is. I know basically who I am.
Yes.
But I know I'm gonna always come in as a student. That's what makes me. I only say I'm a master when I'm doing art, or I'm like just in the music, or just whatever. Where not really I'm bragging, but it's like it's like a catapult thing, because nobody's gonna project us like that. We have to do it sometime, not all the time.
Yes.
But I know where my power was kind of coming in at, where it's coming in at really right now, because it's almost as if it's like a first time for everything. And it's really my first time actually talking to you, but I just never even really, I don't want to say I'm starstruck, but it's kind of like the higher you get, the easier it get, but it's the strongest at the same time.
Yes.
Very strong.
Yes.
So it's kind of like you have to have manners with it a little bit.
I agree.
And I know, because it's like it's an energy field. It actually is the field itself. You know, and it's a side. It's not only is the field itself. It's like that's why you can't really. It's like a silence, because all those different languages and vibrations.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process. And it's the hard, you know how they say, like, the hardest thing to do is, like, be quiet or be patient or just absorb the energy and all that. That's the hardest thing to do, especially if you was raised or just you know you right and everything, but you still have to kind of relax a little bit and everything because there's another energy has to flow. And, man, and, like, you know, in other words, when I was on the phone just now, I don't know if I was interrupting you or whatever, but it's the hardest thing for me to do just now because my reward was by me hearing that fella and the way you was counting him. Oh my God! It's like it's kind of like ain't no way this is happening, but it actually was happening because you know it's like I was like ain't no way. I'm like I know we got neighbors and stuff, but we got to. In other words, it's interacting in us too. You know, it's like we can't exclude ourselves from the equation. It's like it really is a unified field. Because when he was talking, I was like, man, this guy, I know they're not in my mind. When I started like thinking about all those like looking, Project Looking Glass and all, I'm like, man, what? So I just relaxed and I was kind of saying things and trying to whatever. So I didn't know if y'all could hear me or whatever. Where I was trying to I wasn't trying to interrupt y'all, but I felt like I was interrupting y'all, so I had to just zip it up a little bit. And when I relaxed a little bit, I was like, man, while the energy started flowing, which when y'all was talking, I was like, oh my God. So I just relaxed. But by me studying the Maya, I don't know how deep y'all is on the Maya. Yeah. But man, the twin, it's the 20s. All it means is 1320. The 13 is the sound, and the 20 is the sight. That's the twin itself. It's the sight and the sound. The interaction was us moving through it. You see what I'm saying? It's like we the star. In other words, that's where the word storm comes from. Star arm. The star arm, the thing in between where it's like it created us. It ain't like what happened. That's what made our body like if you stick your hands out, you got the negative side and the positive side. In between, our head is up in our body. That's why it's everything in between.
Your voice.
Like our body, but our hands is crazy.
Your
voice.
You hear me a little bit? Let me tell you, you make me feel like I'm on Mars. Like your energy is so Arcturian and Martian. No, whatever you do, and I don't know what you do, but your energy is like methodically like shifting. Like I could feel like almost like my body moving from right to left. If you create beats or you create music, whatever you do, it's in your energetic, the way you talk, the way you express yourself. It's in your frequency to the point where you don't have to speak it. I don't have to outwardly hear it. I can feel it on me. I got my glasses on.
Yeah, it's like a photonic.
I feel high.
Light.
Yes.
It's light.
Yes. And they always think you got a chief to get high. No, you got me high energetically. Your energy, you feel in your connectivity, your recognition of twinning, you already are bringing in that unified, methodical, like beautiful frequency. Big up to you. We need more. I love musical beings. I love you artistic beings because we require you. We do. If we didn't have you in our life, we'd be lost.
Huh?
Yeah, we'd be lost without you.
And remember, I'm a student. I'm gonna always be a student. But it's kind of like that's how we going through these ethers right now.
Yeah.
Because like I said, just to be on the phone with you, it meant so much, and it means so much to us. When I say us, believe me, a lot of them is kind of piggybacking off of the portals that like we on the phone right now, believe it or not, you have no, you've been on it. Because like I said, I ain't studying it, but I mean, it's the law of attraction is attractive.
Word.
So you know about how they're not subject to time like we subject to time. So they just will wait by the door for eons, a day, or however long. And when that crack open, they're gonna just politely come in.
Word.
You know, and they're gonna reward us after they go get their body. Yeah, they have to go get a body and then come back and tell us thank you and all of that.
That's what I'm saying.
But they've been waiting.
I agree with you.
It's crazy, man.
You come from my mothership. Yeah, you came from my mothership. I realize you came from the same star system. It's nice to meet one of us.
Yeah, but I don't want to tie them lines up. But it's just it's an honor to be on the phone with you.
Oh, same like
and
that.
like I say, I mean, it's my first, but I guarantee it won't be our last.
Oh, I appreciate that, Sunstar.
Miss Flurburn, everybody that I kind of turned them on to you, they ain't never came down yet, man. They floating away.
Oh, I love it. I support it. I am definitely in alignment with that. And I'm saying, you know, instead of us fielding into the energy and the way that the negative want us to do, we can co-create and we can acknowledge what is necessary for our, you know, leveling up. And having this interfacing and talking to others who are in the same field. The twinning is just basically us coming back into oneness. That's all it is. It starts off with two, but it ends up four. It's everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 it means two entities. Twinning, two is only two moves. It's like it's just trading. That's you know, it's the sight and the sound. You see, one has to relax and let the other one come in. You know, and it goes back and forth. But what the Maya revealed to us, they showed us like the being itself when they would draw it. See, they would draw what happened in the past. They would draw what would they like to happen. They would draw what would be going on, and they would draw what they would like to happen.
Yes. That's our vision boards. Those are our vision boards.
And it would amalgamate over time so that they would never die. We never died. We kept incarnating. Because they would lock it all in one. Because it was like they bounced the light. We bouncing light.
That's right.
You know, it's a ricochet.
Oh, I love it. Keep that frequency going. Please make sure that for the post-pole shift party, for the post-pole shift party, we should be on and banging. So make sure you bring that vibration to the post-pole shift party because that's where it's at.
I got you, and I'm going to stay in contact, you know, and keep the energy high because, man, it's our turn now, you know. It is what it is.
I accept. All right, Sunstar, thank you for calling in. Peace out.
All right. Thank you so much, Goddess. Okay,
thank
bye-bye.
You.
Hotel. Bye.
Yo, he had us on another wave. I felt like I was in Mars. I had visited Sirius. This is that connection to like the other worlds. We're one. So the energy that we're fielding in together, we just see reflections of each of us. That's why when we talk about twinning is nothing more than us coming together, then together, then together, together. It isn't anything more than us coming back to oneness. Beautiful. I love it. He had that laid back, you know, that like the jazz. I could feel the music. Whatever he does, I could feel the music in his tone. I could feel the frequency. It was calming. I could actually interface in another realm. Big up to you, Sunstar. I appreciate your vibration. All right, so let's go into another phone call. We're going into, okay, let's do 84. Am I right? Hold on. Let me make sure. Okay, so 8474, you're on the line with Flurburn. Peace, family.
Peace, family. It's Aisha. How are you, Queen?
Hey, Peace. How are you? Yes, I'm well. I'm well. How are you enjoying these times, love?
Wonderful. I'm enjoying the times, just relaxing right now. But I had a question for you.
Sure.
On the twin flames situation. So we all get all up in a roar about the twin flame and the goodness. Yes. But is there a double side to that? And if you know about that, can you go in on that?
Another side? What do you mean? To what it actually means?
Another side to like meeting your twin flame, marrying your twin flame.
Yes. The twinning, why it could bother people, because it's kind of like that princess knight in shining armor kind of story. So a lot of people feel like it's faking, like it's fake, and it's like trying to reach something that's unattainable. And what I've realized, remember, I was one of them. So I have to say, I always have to tell people who aren't in awareness of how I felt previously, is that I agreed. I felt like it was like that. I felt like people projecting this or speaking about this were talking about it in a way that I felt wasn't realistic. And then I started to witness people who I knew were experiencing something supernatural. Now, listen what I said. I said supernatural in connectivity to this phenomenon called the twinning. Now, whenever I witnessed the supernatural connected to it, I said, okay, there's something to it, but maybe the narrative has been changed in order to create something that's not true. So a lot of us will have either extreme aversions to it or extreme loving it. Okay. So when I started to see that people were starting to mirror each other, who are so-called twins, that not only did they mirror each other personally and equal and opposite ends of each other, that in their family dynamics it showed up, in the numerical connective numbers connected to their names, date of births, their children's names, their father's name. That was another phenomenon. And then also seeing that their astrological field was always in cohesion of the union. That was also something. And also their blood types were also in cohesion. Now, when we talk about twin flames, you're probably asking me what else other than the love factor, the whole merging with each other sexually or physically. The other aspect of twinning is basically bringing people back together in union and going back to oneness, 0 point. If you take the concept of, let's say, I don't know what your belief system, let's just say, you take the concept that some of us came here from other worlds. Let's just say that. And let's say me and you and a bunch of our homies came from, I don't know, we came from Sirius. We came on the same ship. And so, right? So some of us said, okay, me and you said, we're going to go and we're going to explore planet Earth. Okay? New terrain. We don't really know much about it. But we made the choice to be the ones who volunteered to go on the surface of the planet. We went in teams of 2. But there was about maybe 1,000 of us or maybe 100 of us, whatever. When we went out in fields of 2, we explored and we left breadcrumbs. We went further and further away from the mothership. We went to explore Earth. And as we started to go further out, the teams of 2 were usually starting off as like teams of 10. And then we said, okay, let's split up. Let's do 5 to 5. Then we split up. Then we would do maybe 2 to 2. Then we split up and maybe did 2 and then end up going maybe on our own exploring. The concept of, as I acknowledge it, of twin flames is basically a homing beacon telling us it's time to go back home because a cycle has ended. We were only supposed to be here for a certain period of time, has gone off. So now when that homing beacon goes off, it's now we all realize, okay, it's time to go back to the ship, back to where we came from, back to our origin, back to 0 point where we began this journey. As we start to go back, the first person that you're going to come upon is your twin. Because that's the team of 2 that split into 1 and went on an individual journey. That's the first one. That's your twin flame. It's nothing more than that. Then me and you, your twin and my twin, we meet up and then we go into a field of 4. Then we merge. Then we're going to go in a field of 8. Then we merge. Then we end up going back to that 10. Then we merge. Then we go back into oneness in our ship. Do you see what I mean? That's how I see twin flames.
I brought the question up because I've been following you for a while now, and I remember when I first came on, you had the story about your twin flame, which I believe was the situation with the family. I don't really want to go into it.
Yes.
That you guys aren't together anymore. So there comes a time when it's all good and stuff in the hood, as you would say, and then the relationship could go into a very a very bad situation. Is that normal? Can you expect that with the twin flame, or is it always supposed to be cookies and cream?
No. Just like with any other relationship. No, I don't think we always put higher expectations on something because it's supernatural. It's just supernaturally more effed up, you know what I mean? More messed up, you know what I mean? So you have more messed up aspects of it.
Right.
I think, you know what I mean? Just like a regular relationship would have its ups and hurdles, it would be the same. So I think making it seem like it's supposed to be something that supersedes the average human flaw isn't fair. It's accomplish that, right?
Okay.
My twin matches me in every which way, but the human aspects of maybe the way I show up, maybe I came with something that isn't healthy, maybe they came with something that wasn't healthy. We have to work through that. The twins are going to be together. That I know for a fact. But there's a lot of purging and a lot of mirroring, a lot of shadow work. That's why it makes it the most phenomenal relationship and the hardest. Because you have to be a leveled up being to even make it work.
Right. Well, 12 years strong, so I don't know about that.
I'm okay. I have moments, believe me you. I have moments, but I'm humbled. And I do know, I know what I know and I know what I don't. But I do know that this is something that is real. I know it for a fact. And there are things that I don't even speak about on YouTube because I'm a researcher. And researchers, we vet things out. I don't just take things at surface value because of the nature of how I've started in research and genetics and heredity. That by that nature, I will sample things. I will make sure I document things to see if there's any sort of plausible connection, if there's any likenesses, if there are phenomenon that or enigmas that show up. I do that naturally. So because of that, it gives me a little bit more of an edge on this phenomenon because I'm the ultimate researcher, and it is a true phenomenon, and it will happen fully. Just everyone has to level up, and we're going into another paradigm. So by the nature of the times that we're in, we will.
Exactly. In addition to that, you can't tell everything.
It wouldn't be smart for me to do that because
we can't tell.
Yeah, there's certain things that shouldn't be said because if someone's truly a twin, I want to be able to vet it out as legitimate and not just put some false standard out there, and then everybody will, because a lot of people, what they do is they copy and paste. They'll watch somebody's video and then they'll put it out there so that everybody will tell you the same scenario or narrative based on what they heard. So they've been influenced, so it isn't real anymore. There's certain things I know for a fact that when I talk to them, they don't know, and they wouldn't possibly know that other people who don't look like them, different ages, different backgrounds, are actually doing exactly the same thing as them, and that's part of the phenomenon. So I keep that just so I'm able to vet it out as legitimate or not.
All right, well, I think you answered my question.
Well, thank you, C-Star, for calling in. I appreciate it. And, have hope for the twins. Wish them well. Wish us all well on our journey. And hopefully, because ultimately, it's all about coming back into unity. That's all it is. And I think that's a beautiful thing. Even if someone doesn't accept twinning, there isn't anything with us coming as a collective and being united on a united front to be able to, come against the forces that are here that are unhealthy.
I think the most important thing is to stand because no one's going to stop that.
I agree.
No one's going to stop that unity.
That's right, and it's on board.
All right, Queen.
It's okay, Mama. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. Peace.
Yeah. You're welcome. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Wonderful. I love questions. I love this. Let me take in my next caller. It's 5507. You're on the line with Fleur. Peace, family.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. Hey, C-Star, what's going on?
Hello?
Yes. Hey.
Hi. It's so glad that I got through to you. Oh my goodness. So I have had some really, really insane things happening to me lately. Okay. I'm in San Diego, California, and about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago now, I learned from one of your videos, what a handler was and what an agent was. Yes. And I want to thank you for that, first of all, because you pretty much saved me on that one. Aww. But let me kind of start from the beginning, I guess. Yes. And then I have some, there's a new technology that's being used on me and on a lot of other people around me that are unaware of it because they're fast asleep. But I've never heard anybody talk about this specific technology, and I would love to know if you've ever heard about it being used on people or if you have any knowledge about it at all. Okay. So my past is when I was young, I started being like abducted astrally when I was about 5 years old.
Yes.
And I was diagnosed with night terrors. I was being taken to like an underground someplace that was very militarized.
Yes.
And I don't really know much about that, but I think the reason that what's happening to me now is because I started getting memories back of that time in my life. I started having like memory recalls of my childhood of being astrally taken to some kind of military base, like almost on a nightly basis.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, just really quick. Do you have military family?
No, you're good.
Do you have military family, mother, father, anybody?
Yeah, I do. My grandfather.
Okay.
And both my parents are drug addicts, so they weren't military, but my grandfather was big time. Yeah.
Okay. The reason why they might be addicts is because of some sort of abduction scenario. That's usually why sometimes that happens. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I've actually never thought about that before. That actually makes a lot of sense. They're both like really messed up and fried in the head. And I always figured it was from doing way too much acid because I followed the Grateful Dead around for like 20 years, but probably something before that happened. Definitely.
I'm sorry, Mama.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay. I mean, it all got me here, and I definitely have. There's a reason that I'm in the situation I'm in right now, and I think it's to tell people what's going on, because there's some really covert bullshit happening to a lot of targeted individuals.
Yes.
And I've never heard anyone on the internet talking about this specific thing, but there's a lot of cyber sex trafficking going on with people unknowingly with this new technology that they're using.
Wow. And
because I was in this specific situation where I was living with my handler for 2 years, it was like a fake twin flame scenario. Okay, wait, let me back up.
Okay.
So basically, just like quick background. So I started being like heavily medicated for sleeping when I was like 6 years old, because I went to see a bunch of different sleep doctors, and they were like, oh, she's having night terrors, because they couldn't wake me up in the night. I would be like unconscious and like screaming and stuff, and they wouldn't be able to like wake me up because I like wasn't in my body. And so I took sleeping medication my whole life, and then 5 years ago I stopped taking sleeping pills, and I had that summer a really crazy out-of-body astral experience where I left my body in the night, and I basically met with a group of beings, and I met with my father, who had died 6 months earlier, and I basically, they told me that I had made a contract in my last life, or before I incarnated, and that if I wanted to fulfill that contract, then basically I was not going to be going back to my body, but I was for the time being, but that my time was done, and that there was a different kind of soul that was going to be coming into the body. So I'm now a different person than I was then, if that makes any sense at all.
Kind of like a walk-in?
Completely a different person. Yeah, I guess. I'm not a completely different person. It was basically like when I went back into the body, it was like I was still I was still like the one driving the vehicle.
Yes.
And there was just somebody in the back seat, and then slowly over the last 5 years, it was kind of like a swap out. And now it's probably, I would say, like 10%, 90% of that soul is still in the body, and it just doesn't really want to let go. Okay. It's really very, very complicated. I've never really tried to explain it to anyone before because it sounds absolutely nuts.
No. They can sidebar someone's consciousness. They can insert. That's an insertion program. Sometimes they'll insert other deities, entities. They can bypass your subconscious mind and insert another's consciousness within you. They do that. They've done that. Military Dark Ops does that. And also, let me just tell you, C-Star. Thank you. Hold on. We have Abraham said that Grateful Dead LSD was a military operation. So that was also coded for a military operation. Thank you for that information. So you aren't crazy.
Damn.
I don't consider you crazy, but definitely I think you had a walk-in, something they added to you.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was very, I think that it was very benevolent. So the day after that happened, I basically got back into my body. I woke up, I remembered the entire thing very vividly. I had not believed them because at the time I was a hardcore atheist, and I was like, "What? You're all beings from other dimensions?" And so I asked them a bunch of questions, and they took me to different dimensions, and they answered a lot of questions for me. And so I wrote it all down, but I wrote it off as a dream, and I was like, "No, there's no way that was real. Unless it happens 2 more times just like that, I'm just gonna say it was a dream." But that next day, I actually had a spontaneous Kundalini awakening. So not just like a little moment of bliss, like 7 days and nights of this energy, this raging heat, electric energy burning its way through each one of my chakras. It spent 18 to 24 hours on each one of my chakras. And at the time, I did not know what a chakra was.
Yes.
Like, I was a professional dancer and aerialist in the circus, and I was very, very happy being a matrix person.
Of course. Yeah, it's nice to have the rosy glasses on. It's when the glasses come off. It's when the rosy glasses come off and the crazy ones go on. That's the problem. Yeah, seeing things fully. That's the problem.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was wild. Like, my boyfriend at the time was like, I think, like, he looked up my symptoms, like, on the 3rd day when I was going to go to the emergency room. It had me laying flat on my back, completely naked, and it was holding me in these, like, crazy different positions, and this energy would just burn in one of my chakras until it would just eventually burn through my whole physical body, all of the blockages, because I was not ready for that energy to go up my spine, you know? Like, I had never done any kind of meditation or anything. It was brutal. And then 7 days and nights of that, and on the 7th day, it finally went through my third eye, up, like, through my crown, and I had my second out-of-body experience then. And I got back in my body, and I was like, holy shit, this is all real.
Yes.
And basically, my family and friends were like, I was a different person after that point. Like, nothing was the same, and I was seeing energy everywhere. I felt like I took 1,000 tabs of acid at that point, and I was really, really freaked out by it. But my family rejected all of it, and all of my friends were like, we just want Anna back. And I had a very, very successful career as a circus performer, performing a death-defying trapeze act at the time, and I just quit. And I thought that I moved to San Diego on my own free will accord, but it turns out that I was trafficked here because the person I came out here with was actually an agent. And he was actually, I didn't know this because I didn't know this was a thing, but at the time, he was my handler. And I didn't even know what that was then.
So sorry.
And so I just found this out recently. Like, so I got trafficked here to San Diego, and then ever since then, that was three and a half years ago. And everything was weird, just like one weird experience after the next. And so I kind of just decided to stay very much secluded by myself with my 2 black cats. Like, not
I love it.
I hadn't had any kind of like sexual relations with anyone since I had my spontaneous awakening. So that was like 5 years of celibacy. And then they sent in this, do you know what a love bite scenario is?
Well,
I've never heard of a love bite.
Well, I've had something similar to that when taken up to a ship. So I don't know if that's what you perceive as a love bite, but it's really like a sedation. They kind of do something to you, it sedates you or displaces you. Is that what you're talking about?
That is happening, yes. But like love bite, maybe you call it like a false twin flame.
Okay.
I think that's probably what you call it.
Okay.
Like a love bite, like false twin flame scenario where they send in a handler and they pretend they like prep the person, and they took this guy, they found this guy in the San Diego prison, and they picked him because he was a diagnosed psychopath. And they programmed him, and they filled him up with a bunch of fucking technology, really crazy different technology, like I'll talk about that later. But and then they sent him to me, and they told him all about me and told him what to say and what to do to be my. They programmed him to be my perfect twin flame.
They coached them. They coached them. Yes.
At the time,
yes.
Learning about twin flames, and like he comes into my life, and it's also synchronistic, and I'm like, oh my God, this is my twin flame. Like there's no way. This is really real. This is so crazy. It's like everything that I like, he likes. And
Yes.
me
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think I find my twin flame. I fall madly in love with him. Turns out that's not the case. It was not so.
No,
unfortunately.
I'm so grateful you brought
turned
this
out
up.
to be-
Yeah, no, I'm grateful you bring this up. They will disseminate false twins, and they will mimic you to a T, to the point where you feel enamored. But they're actually sociopaths, and I'm glad you mentioned this, because a lot of people don't realize the prison system, a lot of these Willy Wonka agents are taken out of the prison system programs because they've been chipped. Most people in prison are chipped.
Yes.
They're all chipped. So they can be inserted with any program. They're Smiths. And when they come out, they can program them and send them out to you, and they can, show themselves as a twin flame, as a old family member, as a new friend. I'm so grateful you brought this up, because this is something that has been a problem that they do. They did it with me with the guy from California. I told you his name was Rennie. He was a time traveler. People thought I was crazy. That was one of them, and they did it with a false twin. Someone who comes in and they're traumatizing. It's like Narcs. They'll send you a twin that's a narcissist that'll do something cruel to you and just bounce. And they'll leave. They'll leave without any trace. A lot of these narcs are sent to you, and you won't ever see them again.
Yep. That is so crazy that you've had that, like, such a similar experience that you know about that. That's wild.
It's disgusting. No, because it's disgusting.
You guys, when she says an Agent Smith, like, I don't know if you understand this or not, but there is a technology called remote neural monitoring. And when she says there's an Agent Smith, she literally means that it is no longer that person. They have a technology called remote neural monitoring, and now they don't even need any kind of headset or anything, because they're all chipped, like she said.
Yeah.
They are all chipped, and they're coming into the prison system, and they're also, even more so than the prison system,
The psychiatric ward.
they take people that are Marines, ex-military, ex-Navy, ex-Air Force, and they're chipping them and then giving them this really, really high technology that you would not think that this technology even exists, and then they're sending them in to, like, act like a normal person.
They do.
So you think that you're with a normal person, and they're able to control literally all of the technology around you remotely with their mind,
including and holographically. Let's mention that. I'm grateful you're talking about this. Thank you for calling in. Holographically, they can change what you're interfacing with. They can actually change your hologram around you and make everything around you, whatever agenda they have, whatever they have set up for you, they will set it up like that. People in your life will start acting to whatever agenda.
Amazing. I'm so happy that I'm talking to you. Thank God. Everyone, no, I can't talk to anybody about this. Nobody even knows this technology exists.
No, because
all the other targeted individuals in the community that I've been trying to talk to about it, they think that they're like, no, Anna, that's a psyop. It's just a psyop. I'm like,
no, it's not.
No,
it's not.
You guys don't understand. These people are doing this to you too. I'm trying to tell you that this technology exists. So go on about the holographic technology, because that's spot on. That's exactly, they're living in a different world that I cannot see, but they can all see it. It's really sick.
It is.
It's like really bizarre.
And it's good for everyone to hear this, because how we discern what's true and what's not is we have to go with our gut. See, this is the interesting thing. That's why all of the things outside of us, all these television, all the foods are trying to mute your natural sixth sense. It tries to mute your natural gut reactions. Like, you ever feel like something's about to happen, you feel in your stomach, you're like, I don't know why I feel like butterflies in your stomach when you're excited, but also you feel it like in your gut. Your gut tells you everything. You gotta follow your gut, because even when that agent was sent to me, I felt it in the gut. I felt the apprehension. I ignored it. That's what I did. But hindsight is 20/20. I remember feeling that gut reaction, like, no, something's wrong. That's your first mind. That's the mind we're supposed to listen to. That's the one that will tell us if we should go forward or if we should step away and block someone. That's what we're supposed to listen to.
That is so true, and I literally, oh my gosh, if I had only known about this a year ago, because I literally said to somebody the other day, I said, you know what, if, every single time that I had a gut reaction about anything this entire time since moving out here, I was spot on.
You were?
One thing that I've learned since all this happening, I am extraordinarily psychic.
Yes.
But if I've been taught, I've been programmed not to follow my gut reaction. I've been programmed to go against my gut reaction.
Yes.
That's like it's, and now if I have, now I know, like literally every time I feel anything, it is 100% spot on, and you're right, it's in the gut.
It's all in the gut.
Every time.
Your brain is in your stomach.
You can't even think with your mind.
No, the brain is in the stomach.
Yeah.
This is a lie that they've been projecting to us. They tell you that your mind is in your brain. It isn't. Your first brain, that's why they mess with our stomach. That's why they send all this genetically homogenized food. That's why they're always messing with the things that we interface and what we eat, how we think. Everything's through our stomach. So this is where we have to follow.
Yep.
And all of the technology is muting people's natural ability to discern what is real from not. The holographic technology, I'm so grateful you came on here tonight, because you couldn't have hit this right on. You hit the nail on the coffin in a way that people need to understand. They are holographically manipulating people. And I know I look crazy. I got the glasses on. Yep. I look crazy when I say it. I'm saying you look so It's like one of those bad movies. It's like,
no, I said that earlier in the chat. I was like, Warren looks hot as fuck tonight.
Oh,
my
I
God,
appreciate
you look like I've never seen you look so good. I haven't caught in a show in a couple months now because things have gone crazy here in the Matrix. But you look incredible. I don't know what you're doing, but keep it up. You look like a superwoman.
Thank you, Mama. I'm trying to be like rich because I'm trying to avoid all the Smiths and the agents. I'm doing a bob and weave.
Looks like you're doing a good job.
I appreciate that, Mama.
So the other technology that I really wanted to ask you about, which is the one that I haven't heard anyone talk about. Okay. So so my handler, there's a cyber sex thing going on that they are doing something called EEG heterodyning. And if you guys want to look that up, it would be a good thing.
What is it called?
Because it's happening.
What is it called?
EEG heterodyning. They're able to now remotely through a wall, from a van, a white van somewhere, they're able to take your brain signature. So every single person has a unique brain signature that's unique just to themselves. It's like a fingerprint for your mind. It's like your energy print.
Yes.
They are stealing those from people, so they took mine non-consensually. Gang stalkers and people who are using the Agent Smiths and the handlers, people who are using this technology, they are having theirs taken consensually. So they will give their brain signature, and it's basically a channel. It's like a channel, it's like a television channel or a radio station for yourself. So these people they took them non-consensually, they heterodyned, so they cloned my brain signature from me, and then they put it up on the dark web. So they're trading it off, they're buying it, they're selling it to people for a certain amount of money. And this is what my handler was sent in to do. He was sent in to make me more sexually active.
Yes.
Because I had been celibate for 5 years, and I was sticking to myself, and I thought he was my twin flame, but actually he came in to get me to be more sexual because they needed him to to get my DNA and get my brain signature so that they could clone it and then put it up on the dark web. And then from there, basically people pay a certain amount of money for a slot of time to either to live through either my eyes as me or to live through his eyes as him. So they would pay for a slot of time to project themselves. It's called an EMF broadcast. So they do these things called EMF live broadcasts, and it's when they basically broadcast a brain signature of whatever person they are trying to live as. So they're seeing through the person's eyes, they're hearing through the person's ears, and they're experiencing. They're in a catatonic state somewhere else. So they are laying down somewhere. Catatonic state is a state that they go into. These people who use this new technology, and it's basically like a dream state. So they're like half asleep, half awake. And then they're astral projecting. So they are projecting themselves, and they're in the fourth dimension. So, like, I can see fourth dimensional entities very clearly these days, because they're fucking demons hopping in and out of bodies.
Yes.
But a lot of them are they're people living as an EMF broadcast. And everyone should write these terms down, and you should go on YouTube and go online, and you should look them up.
Sickos.
New technology that is being used. And it's very, very, very real, because I'm just a normal person out here. I was just living my life, and they are now cyber sex trafficking me, and they're doing it to a lot of other targeted individuals. If anyone else is a targeted individual, I just learned that term, and I just learned about gang stalking, but it's what's been happening. I like didn't have terms for it. I was like, these people are all
I'm so sorry.
nuts. Like,
they're neural hijacking you.
So,
oh my gosh, the ETs do this. I didn't. Wait, I'm sorry. I have to say this to you. You know,
please.
This is crazy, because I knew the ETs did this. You know, this is what's wonderful but tragic, because in my limited state, I was like, I know the extraterrestrials do that, because a lot of times what they do is they hijack, they take their neural status and they take it and they interface it with ours, so we can see through them. So I know they do that.
It's reptilian technology.
Yes. That's where we got it from.
Had a reptilian handler.
Bastard.
That was 100% him half of the time. It was sick.
Bastard.
He was a reptilian. Like, I didn't really believe in reptilians before him, and his energy
they're real.
sometimes would be so lizard that it was not even funny. Like, it's so real that I got into so deeply, and I just, like, you know, 2 years ago, I was listening to your videos going, you know, I really believe her. She has a totally honest vibe about her. There's nothing coming out of her mouth.
I'm telling the truth.
The truth. Like, I could tell that. It was so beyond my grasp, you know? It was beyond my reality that I couldn't perceive it. But now I'm like, oh my God, you guys, it is really real.
This is crazy.
Yeah.
I know you're telling the truth.
It's their technology. It's not human
It
technology.
is. And I know, and you know, and this is why I say I'm ignorant and I'm pissed off, because I didn't even think they were doing this. You just put me on. I knew the ETs did it. I know they do it because they've done it with me. They've done it with others. A lot of us in the contacted community talk about them taking aspects of their consciousness and putting it in our mind, and then we're able to interface in their world and see through their lens. That happens. Even some of the bigger YouTube, the bigger contactees talk about this. But I was so ignorant to not even think, oh my God, they reverse engineered the technology because these bastards are sick, and they're utilizing on a black tube, the black market, the dark web, and they're taking people's consciousness, they're hijacking it, and their neural consciousness, and they're actually illegally giving it to bastards. Oh, this is sick. This is sick. They're sickos.
It's so much worse than, I mean, I'm not going to say it's worse than regular sex trafficking, but like this, I'm literally a prisoner in my own apartment, and there's nothing that I can do about it. Now that they have my signature and I'm tagged, there are right now, in this moment, there are 20 people in their EMF broadcast form in this apartment living as my cat. I have 2 black cats.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my
cats
cat,
are interdimensionally.
my actual cat, for months now, because they took their brain signatures and they spy on me all day long. They pay money to live as my cat day and night. Different people will come in, and they are no longer my cats. They're men in my cat's bodies broadcasting an EMF broadcast with their brain signatures back onto the cat in a stronger wavelength than the cat. And it is sick and so fucked up. And the other part is, so my handler, this is the last part of the technology, and it's like a consciousness swap. It is a full consciousness swap. So I'm 100% positive about this. This was not a psyop, contrary to the other targeted individuals' beliefs. They have the technology to completely, he was in his best friend's Courtney. So there's this girl, and then so they have my handler, who was my boyfriend, and then you have his best friend, who's a girl. But I basically was trying to warn her. She was like being kind of targeted. She had had a handler for many years and was very brainwashed, but I was trying to kind of snap her out of it and bring her to the light and tell her, this is what's going on. And, he saw me doing that, and I said too much, basically, to her, and so he brought her over to the dark side, and he told her, hey, yeah, you were getting her and her handler broke up or whatever, and so she was not doing really well, and so I was trying to help her, and so he was like, no, I'm going to turn her into one of us, and I'm going to give her this mind control technology. And so what they started doing was they started swapping consciousnesses. So he would literally be in her body as her, but it would be him in there, controlling her body. It was his consciousness in her body, and then she would be there with me in her consciousness as her. Because for months, I was saying to him, I was like, sometimes I look at you, Joey, and I just see a woman. Like, all of a sudden, you'll just have such a feminine essence about you, and your mannerisms are all different, and the way you talk, it's just different. I couldn't, for months, he basically went away for a couple of months of time. Well, we broke up, and he went away, but he went and he got all kinds of new technology. He got RFID tattoos all over him, and then when he got back, he couldn't sit on his hands and breathe normally. And I don't know what that technology is, but they're like either part cyborg or they're cloning
it's
people.
Transhumanism, yes,
really,
form of transhumanism.
Do they clone people?
Well, he could be cloned. He could be.
There have been multiple ones with him.
They could have tagged him. The fact that he has those chips on top of him, you're talking about like the actual lines, like he has tattoos of like what is it called? Like
he had tattoos that were normal tattoos, and then when he came back, they weren't normal tattoos because he was like holding up an invisible phone to it and charging it, and they always hold their hands in certain ways, like they have invisible technology that they're using.
That they can see, because they can see it.
Me with frequencies.
Okay. So
yeah, they can see it. And what they're doing now is that now that he's gone, I woke up the other morning, dude, and there were a bunch of men in suits in my room. There were a bunch of guys, older guys in suits, and they have these two frequencies, and I found the patent for one of them. It's a frequency that they can beam you with from a satellite technology, and it basically beams you with a frequency that knocks you out and makes you unconscious. It was originally made for surgeons to use on their patients when they were going to put them under for surgery. Instead of having to give them any kind of shot or medication, they would just hit them with this frequency, and it literally makes them unconscious and unable to feel anything. That was what it was originally used for. They are now using it on people to beam it with them, and I have it multiple times, and I'm not the only targeted individual this is happening to. This is happening to other people in this country and in Australia and in other countries as well, and in England, that are getting hit with this and waking up in a different place, with time missing. I started missing a lot of time, and I woke up without any clothes on, in a different place in my room, with no memory at all, with half of the day gone. And then I woke up the other morning, and there were men in my room, and they literally can remote control me without my will. I no longer have any free will. They had me, I woke up, I saw all of them, they all looked at me, and they just had me stand up, and I was not operating my own body, and I was not able to control it at all. They had somebody projecting my brain signature on me, and they had them overriding my own brain signature.
I'm so sorry.
So I got up, I walked out of the room into the bathroom, and I sat down on the toilet, and they hit me with the knockout frequency, and I fell asleep there. And I woke up hours later, and I was in different clothes, and nobody was here, and the doors were locked again.
So
and
sorry.
it's like I'm living in a fucking sick, cruel nightmare, and I don't, the police are in on it because they arrested me a couple months ago. Literally, I was just walking out to my car from a grocery store, and there was a cop SUV with 2 cops in it parked across from my car, and I didn't think anything of it. I looked at them, I waved, I smiled, I got in my car, I went to start the car. He hopped out of his car and came over and goes, I need you to step out of the car.
Wow.
And I looked at him and I said, I went to say, is there a problem? And he opened the door and he grabbed me. He threw me on my hood and he handcuffed me. And I was telling him that it hurt. He was dislocating my wrist to please stop, and asked him what I was doing. And he said, you're under arrest. I'm charging you with a felony for resisting an officer. And that was just so that they could take my car from me, so that I would be stranded here on this side of the country with no car. And that was 5 months ago now, and I lost my job teaching dance at elementary schools all over San Diego because I couldn't get to work, and I spent all of my savings on a lawyer to get off that case because they charged me. I've never even gotten a traffic ticket before in my life. Like, I'm not a bad person. I'm not a bad citizen. Like, I was not doing anything, and they literally did this. The cops are in on it. They did this so that I would be stranded here, stuck in, so that I would be in this electromagnetic concentration camp that they've made, where I'm not allowed to post anything on YouTube. There's this, like, I'm not even kidding, the CIA lives upstairs now, and they're, like, monitoring me all the time. I don't know if they're the CIA, but they're ex-police. They're some kind of police officers, and they take different shifts. Every 8 hours, a new shift of 2 of them go up there, and it's, like, really fucked up. But basically, I have no way out of here. They took my car, and I'm about to lose my apartment because I can't pay this month, and I did not want to allow any more gang stalkers to live here because they were killing me with their frequencies and killing my cat. So if anyone out there is well off and can help me at all with anything, any money at all, I'm trying to get a car so that I can get the fuck out of here, because this is like a hell nightmare from a different fucking world, and I don't know how to get out. And it's like, it's to the point now that like, there are people coming into my apartment, and it's fucking scary. So I'm not meaning to like say that like that, but like I'm in a really bad situation, and I'm not sure what to do, and I don't have. Every single person that I've met out here in the last 3.5 years has been a setup. They're all fake. None of them are real people. They were all sent here to gather information about me and get intel on me, and then basically turn on me, because I mean they didn't actually turn on me, but I know that they're here just to spy on me. They're being paid to watch me.
Now, do you have any siblings? What other family members do you have other than your parents? What other family members do you have? Is there any way that you can go to?
My father's dead, but he died this year. I had my Kundalini awakening, and my mother's a crackhead, so I don't talk to her.
Oh my gosh.
She and I are not in staccato.
Okay.
And yeah, like I was with that guy who was my handler for the last 2 years, thinking that I was gonna, settle down and start a fucking family with him like an idiot. But it's all been fake. I found out very recently that my entire life out here was a complete fake setup. It was not real at all. And even the person who brought me out here was paid to bring me here. And it's like, it's kind of, I don't really know.
You have to leave. No, you have to leave. You have to leave. And also, you definitely have to leave. There isn't any way that I think it would be cohesive. Now, what place would you go if you had any place to go? Where would you go? What state?
Literally anywhere else. It does not even matter. I know different people like in Colorado, and I'm from New Hampshire / Boston.
Okay.
But I have friends all over the East Coast that I could stay with, like all up and down the East Coast, and I would be okay right now if they hadn't taken my car, but I literally, they are monitoring all of my devices. I can't even get a Lyft or an Uber. I cannot. I've lost over $50 in total in the last 3 weeks trying to get a Lyft or an Uber. And they won't come. Even if they say, yeah, we're outside right now, or if I say, are you coming? They say, yeah, we're 3 minutes away. They are intercepting every single thing. I can't get food delivered here. I can't get my mail anymore. My food stamps card has been, since before Christmas, has been sitting in my mailbox, and they took my mail key, and I can't. They won't let me see the mailman, and I used to have a really great relationship with him, and it's like they're controlling everything, and because I won't comply, that's why I'm being punished like this. You know what I mean? If I was being a good girl, and if I was keeping my mouth shut, and if I was just doing what I'm told, and if I had complied to the new handlers that they sent in to try and handle me, and had just said, okay, I'll go with this Marine. They sent in an ex-Marine, and, he was all sexy and beautiful and was like my perfect guy. And I'm like, no, now I know this is all fake. I'm not going to just go along with this anymore.
Absolutely.
Like,
And nor should you.
And nor should you. That's why I was going along with it before.
And nor should you. Nor should you go along with anything. But what you can also do is make sure you email me after this, and I can see if I can send you to someone who could be helpful and maybe get you out somewhere else. We know a lot of people in that area. And
really?
Huh?
Really?
I can see who. Yes, absolutely. So just make sure you email me to see if we can find. We have a big family, so we'll see if we can get you at least out of there to some safety. Now, let me ask you, because they're going to, wherever you go, you must know this. Wherever you go, it's going to be similar or the same. The difference is it's better for you to be somewhere where you're at least with people who are friends, who at least can be there with you, as opposed to you doing this on your own. I think sometimes having someone who can witness it. They do a lot of things covertly when you're alone, because you can't vet it out. You can't tell anyone. No one's witnessing it there with you. So a lot of people are going to think you're crazy because of the fact that you don't have anyone else saying, well, yes, this is true. At least if you're around family or friends, people who know you, that way it helps to keep you a little more protected. I think that would be better for you. Definitely. And I'm so sorry you're going through this. Now, and also,
hey, thank you. I'm so grateful right now that I'm talking to you. You have no idea how badly I have needed to talk to someone about this, and they're not letting me post anything on YouTube. So it's like, I've been I've never in my life felt hopeless before. Before all this was happening, I was doing very, very well out here. I made a really nice, peaceful, quiet life for myself out here. My apartment was like my little oasis, and I was running a delivery service for the legal weed company, and managing a whole dispensary full of people and drivers. And I was loving giving people medication. I wasn't doing it myself, but I was loving giving cancer patients medication and helping people. And it's things are so scary now. They got really real. When I realized that I couldn't even get a Lyft, an Uber, or a taxi to bring me to a doctor's appointment, I cut my toe open the other night and called an ambulance, and the ambulance didn't come.
Oh my God.
I was on a live show with other targeted individuals, and they were all like, "Oh yeah, that's really common." And I was like, "But I'm this is crazy." It was really crazy.
But
what
I will say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, be careful hanging out with others.
No.
Because hanging out with others, what I notice is that if you collectively come together with others that are considered quote unquote targeted individuals, you bring more heat to yourself. I know that it feels like a support system, but anything that labels you as such will bring more of that into your holograph. So
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, I would prefer you kind of rock it out than bring more heat to you or more attention, because all those groups that are coming together calling themselves targeted individuals, literally they are targeting those individuals by the nature of them coming collectively in that arena.
they're perpetuating the targeting by calling themselves that at all. But they're the only ones that I've been able to like relate to at all. Okay. That have been able to like.
Now, what is your
hear anything that I'm saying? Not that I'm crazy.
Do you have a blood type? Like, I want to connect this maybe to a blood type. Are you negative Roost blood type?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. How did I know this? Because this is generally what happens to some of the negative Roost people. For some reason, that's one of the number one groups.
Really?
Well, yeah. I rarely hear this happen to a positive Roost. I've only, me personally, and I've talked to a lot of people, I've only heard this type of aggressive, targeted kind of interfacing happening with negative Roost. It's just me. Maybe somebody else has heard different, so if anyone else, but I noticed that this is collectively, this connects to a specific Roost, a bloodline that they tend to follow.
Do you know what that is? Like why that is?
Yeah,
like that?
yeah. I think granddaddy may have been part. I don't know if you're part. A lot of times, people from Germanic background, Russians, may have been part of programs where they kind of added their families to those experimental programs. And what happens is that, unbeknown to you, grandfather could have added you or his family, his daughter or his son, whoever side granddaddy's connected to. He added them as volunteers to these, dark ops programs where they do a lot of kinetic experimentation, a lot of electro hijacking programs. A lot of times that's usually the case. And because negative Roost has more of an ability to be interfaced, like hijacked as far as the synapses, the way that the brains are different. And because I think they're more non-terrestrial, saying that I think more negative Roost isn't from here, I think it's easier for them to do that. And they do it more because of the non-connectedness to this planet, maybe coming from certain extraterrestrial backgrounds.
Totally. So I don't know what you know about the secret space program, but when all this like crazy stuff started happening out here and the handler got sent in, I was having like major memory recalls of like some kind of training that I had with but I haven't ever had in this lifetime. So I don't know if it's in astral realms, like it was when I was a kid, or what. But like one of the sides of my family was my great grandfather was the captain of the Mayflower, Miles Standish.
Okay.
He came over like starting the Mayflower, and it's directly connected to like King James, the dickhead. Like that line is like that bloodline is like crazy. That one, and then the other one, the ones who are in the military was my father's father, and he is Greek and like Roman, like going all the way back to like ancient Rome.
Okay, so you're LoJack. It's a genetic.
He was like a fighter pilot and like very 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 high ranking official and very in a lot of like societies and what are they called? Like not cults, but the kind of cults, I guess.
Yeah, this is genetic. This is genetic LoJacking. They genetically LoJacked you.
Yeah. My whole life, I've said I'm cursed, and I think somebody like sold me off or something before I was even born. Like just like you were saying, I swear.
They do that. They do that.
How I've always felt.
Remember, there's a lot of the lineages.
Really?
Yeah, it's even the witches. Remember, back in the days, witches used to sell out their kin. They sell out their seeds, their eggs. So basically, a witch would make a pact, an occult pact, or an occult ritual, and then she would sell out in order to make whatever she wanted, a love spell, or maybe make someone die, or someone come, or make her rich, whatever the spell she was trying to, whatever goal she had intended, she would sell out something. Damn. Sometimes people think blood sacrifices are on site. They're usually, you can make futuristic blood pacts. So you can sell out your eggs, your future kin. And also with the Mayflower, there's a lot of darkness connected to those who came here. And who's to say what kind of pacts were made or what kind of residual karmic debt comes to those who came here as well. So there's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think that I'm here in this situation for a reason. And I think that reason is to break a really, really long lineage on both sides of my family.
Yes.
of some really fucking gnarly shit, because my parents, like, my mom did not want me. Like, neither of them wanted kids, and neither of them were happy to have a child, and they were both, my whole life, both of them resented the hell out of me for it. To this day, my mother fucking resents me for being born, literally. She'll say that.
Sorry.
And it's like,
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. I mean, like, that's why one of the souls tapped out, you know? That's why the old Anna tapped out back 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I had the out-of-body experience, and a new soul stepped in, because that soul was tapped out. She was not going to be able to finish this mission in this lifetime. She was not going to do it. And so I stepped in, and I was like,
you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Rock it out. Rock it out. Listen, Mama, you are stronger than anything outside of yourself.
This is like giving me the more hope than I've had
You'll do it.
So long since they took my car. You have no idea how grateful I am just to be able to have gotten through to you. Like, I'm so thankful, and I really appreciate everything that you do. Like, you are an amazing soul, and I've been so grateful to you for years now, since I found out what a fucking Agent Smith was.
Yo, they're everywhere. They're not any joke, and when we're not in awareness, a lot of people get caught up with Agent Smiths because we're just unaware. And a lot of times it's like, even in previous discussions, maybe a couple years ago, we talk about people coming into your life, and then everything became more chaotic, or there isn't any forward movement, or there was seemed like something was keeping a blockage. Those are when they send and disseminate these Smiths into your life in order to cause chaos, stagnation, or a form of, imbalance. And it's purposefully meant to send to specific people who they know in the future will cause ripples in their established power systems. That's what it is. So they disseminate them like, we throw out Tic Tacs. It's almost like throwing out Tic Tacs to a crowd. It's just going out in random places in order to keep, a sense of control over masses of people that are about to wake up. And we just so happen to be the people who are most awake. And again, you should clear all your debts. Make sure you listen. Anything, it doesn't matter what past people did, because remember, we are our ancestors. We reincarnate in the same lineage of the places and people that did things. So you are maybe that person from the Mayflower, and now you're here in this time to clear the debt from whatever you accrued then. So it's all good in the hood. You came here. You're strong enough. You've got everything you need. A car, it doesn't matter. They could take away your car, they could take away your shoes, but you about this life, you're going to be fine. Let me just say that. You'll be fine. Yeah. As long as you have a soul, as long as you have yourself and your clarity of your mind, there isn't anything they could take away as far as that's concerned. So let them come for you. Be like, listen, you do what you do, but I'm still going to survive, and I'm going to supersede everything you do. Tell them that. Let them know that you're stronger than anything that they'll pull on you.
Hell yeah. This summer, before they took my car, my apartment got broken into, and they took my MacBook Pro, my MacBook Air, my grandmother's wedding ring, her $50,000 family heirloom that I was going to wear on my finger someday, and my father's wedding ring he gave me on his fucking deathbed and told me to always wear.
They're trying to break you.
I went to the store for 45 minutes to get some groceries. I came home, my door was open, and everything that I had worked my ass off for my whole life for was gone. They literally took my shoes. They took absolutely everything.
Okay, but guess what? They trying to break you. Did it break you?
And that's all that matters.
Yeah. Did it break you though? Did it break you?
No.
That's right.
I literally it forced me to learn how to live without any material possessions that I thought I needed.
All they did was level you up.
It made me stronger.
Thank you, pieces of crap. All you did was level her up. All you did was level her up. So it's like fasting. It's like those of us who fast. So all you did was a material fast. Yes. It's like, what you took? My stuff? I came in this life naked, bucket naked. You're going to go out bucket naked. Yeah, do what you do. Let them know that you're above whatever they'll bring to you.
Yes. When they took my car away and I lost my job, I literally, just so everyone knows, this is the new way that people are going to eat in the future. They're going to eat, and this is the way I survived for 3.5 months this way, and I just started drinking juice again, but I was ingesting all of my nutrients, and I kid you not, and there's a way to do this, and I am living through your skin. So I was getting like ginger, and I was getting different fruited vegetables and fruits, and banana is really, really good. Banana peel, the peels of a lot of things have a lot of nutrients in them.
Yes.
But I would hold my body in specific ways, and I would literally breathe it in, doing like different really deep breathing. I'd breathe it in through my skin, and I could feel literally a whole lemon get sucked into, you know, the glands, because they were shooting my adrenal glands just with these awful frequencies that it was killing me. So I was trying to supplement with all these different like, you know, I 3.5 months with just ingesting food, not through my mouth, but through my skin.
That's called breatharianism, honey. That's right.
Skin problems. And you inspired me to do it, really, because I saw you do that fast quite some time ago. Maybe it was this summer.
That's right.
And I was like, damn, like, if she's got that, like, maybe I can do something like that. And then when I didn't have any money, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go all in on this one.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna believe I can do it.
That's right.
I'm make me strong, and it did.
We are more powerful than anything that we think that we're limited by, and that's what I'm saying. Food, all those things that we put a lot of credence and we put a lot of our effort into. That is a necessity. That isn't a necessity. Back in the days, we didn't even talk through our mouths. We talked telepathically. We didn't have to eat through our mouths. We would absorb our nutrients through the sun, through the energies, through the frequencies in the air. That's a form of breatharianism. You got the concept. So that's why I say, no matter what they do, it isn't going to phase you as long as you know that you are the ultimate end all, be all. You are an infinite being. All they're doing is creating karma for themselves by messing with an infinite being. That's how I see. That's why I'm sitting here with my crazy glasses talking to my people online, because I get that concept.
I have goosebumps all over my body right now. I'm just so grateful. I don't want to take up all of your time and everyone's time.
Just email. Just email me. We'll see what people are around that area to see if we can find someone to help you get out of there, or at least find something to help you at least get resources.
Oh my gosh. Literally, my prayers are being answered. I'm like, so I've been waiting for a call like this, even just to talk to someone who is awakened. Like, you are such an amazing being, and you're helping so many people, and I am so very, very grateful that I found your show tonight. Just first time since probably this summer I've seen one, and you are unbelievable. So thank you so much. Thank you for people who listened to this and did not judge me, because it's really like freaks me out a lot thinking about talking about this to people who are not on the same level as Flora Bruin is, you know, because not many people are.
We're a supportive family here. We support each other.
Supporting me is really so important. I have not had anything like that in a long time. So thank you guys.
Beautiful,
thank
Mama.
you so much. And,
stay strong.
I'll send you an email.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Stay strong, Mama. We've got you. All right? Peace out.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Everyone just send beautiful energies, send protective energies, send nourishment, send abundance her way. Let's send beautiful frequency her way to help her resolve, and also for her to have peace and protection. We do our 13. I'll make sure I add her to the 13 shield, so I add her personally to the shield. This is why we are collectively coming together. I know you see me with my glasses and you say, Flora Bruin, you're out of control. But this is why I came online. I was looking and seeking for that connection to someone who was experiencing some of the things I was experiencing, and I thought it would just be one, but as we see, we have 642 people in here who are about this life. So we will always be supportive of our own, because we were the ones that were the black sheeps of the family. We were the ones that were pushed aside. We were the ones that were neglected, but we don't have to be that anymore. We're about this life. We're going into a new paradigm. We're entering into the Aquarian age of truth and of peace, and we will be the representations of that, so that we usher that into the new world order that is coming upon us, that they're all fearful about. So let me take another phone call. Let me let's see who's on the line. Is this? Hold on, family. Okay. I think it's 5104. Make sure you push the number 1 if you're calling in. 5104, you're on the line with Fleur Room Peace Family. 5104.
Yes.
Sister?
Yeah, hold on. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hey, how are you?
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, this is Pierce. You know what? I am such a psychic. I said to call my number next day. You did.
You say it and I follow suit. What's going on, Sister?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'm glad to get on. So I actually took some bullet notes so I wouldn't take up too much time. I know everybody wants to get in. And I'm really, really excited to be here. So I just started watching not too long ago, and basically I'm an old Atlantean. I was born with all my orbs and all that good stuff.
Ooh.
And I've pretty much seen them my entire life. And I just wanted to touch on a few things and just kind of network and see what everybody else has to say.
Yes.
But basically, came here, seeing all my orbs and everything. I actually accessed my Akashic records back in 2002, but I had no idea what was going on. Like I said, I came here seeing everything. I didn't know what it was as a child, but I figured that I would, figure it out later on, and I just kind of went with it. And then when I was, I went to a point of just being human and whatnot. And then this is where things get interesting. I'm going to try to stay on point and try not to take up too much time.
Oh, no, go ahead.
But basically, when I turned 20, and I'm down here in Dallas, I was going to Prairie A&M at the time. And, I had this wonderful friend. I stayed on campus, she stayed off. And, we just, so we read together, whatnot, study or what have you. And then one day out of nowhere, she goes, well, Pierre, do you believe in aliens? And I answered her, like, yeah, because, me knowing the stuff I saw, I'm like, I'm not going to refute that there's, other life out there, especially with me being, me, even though I didn't understand what was going on. So then she mentioned to me, and this is where things kind of get, fuzzy, she mentions to me about, she talks about the Elohim. She brings up Elohim, and she's like, well, you aware of what that is? And I'm just like, no, I have no idea what that means. I wasn't raised in a church. I wasn't raised within the spiritual systems, nothing, so I wasn't aware. So after that happened, all of a sudden, and then I was with my twin flame, which we reconnected after being disconnected for 13 years.
Woo!
And,
twin flame.
I was with them. I was 20, he was 18,
Yes.
And what ended up happening was I started waking up, at 3 a.m. on the dot. I was also living in a house that was quote unquote haunted. So, like I said, I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of orbs. At this point in my life, they are forming what to me looks like constellations, and one actually looks like a little starship.
Ooh.
And then I can even see the little ink orbs, so that part. But anyway, I just, I kept looking up at that time, and all of a sudden I was contacted. And pretty much I didn't know what the hell I was doing at the time.
Hold that thought, love. Speak a little further from the phone. They're saying it sounds muffled.
Oh, hold on.
Okay.
Is that better?
Let me hear you. Talk a little bit more.
Is that better, everybody? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better. Yes.
Okay. And my apologies, I'm so excited to be on here. I'm not even going to let you get a word in. So.
I love it.
Yeah, a lot of times when I watch your videos, it's like me watching myself. It's funny.
We are a reflection of one another. Remember, we're going back into unity consciousness. I'm you and you're me. We just living in a different body at this moment.
And a matter of fact, one day I was watching one of your videos, because that's how I get a lot of my confirmations by watching movies, videos. My spirit puts things in everything. Yes. And, during the fall time, I get a lot of
a whole lot more than what I normally get throughout the rest of the year. And when I was watching one of your videos, you said you were in Florida. All of a sudden, I got a phone call from Florida. I got one of those phantom calls.
Yes.
And
that's cool. I love it.
But yeah, it's awesome. So, now going back to what I was saying, so I saw all of this stuff. I really understand what was going on.
Hold that thought again. I'm sorry, Mama. I'm sorry. Hold that thought. When you're still muffled. I don't know why she sounds muffled. It's still a little muffled.
You know what? My electronics have been compromised. I'm surprised I was even able to stay on the line this long.
Yeah, you sound better now.
I've been having all kinds of problems.
Yeah,
I'm having all kinds of problems with my electronics. I'm talking about, it's crazy. I kind of feel what that last caller was talking about.
Yes.
Because I have issues with that. But let me try to get on point here. And I know babies here making
I hear them. Hi, little ones.
Yeah, you mind that? Give me that.
Aww.
She's my little mermaid.
I hear her. Hi, Mama. Hi, Mama.
Yeah. And she's a little Pisces.
Little Pisces. I've got a Pisces
She's
too.
letting me talk, which is...
Aww. Hi, Pisces. Hi, little fishy. Hello, my little poisson. My little poisson. I love the babies. Okay.
She's so beautiful. She is. But what's crazy is... Okay, let me try to stay on top of here. So I want to talk about narcissists.
Yes.
I want to give everybody a really big warning about narcissists.
Yes, please.
They are literally here to throw you off your path.
That's right.
That is what they are sent in to do. My little muffin here is a product of one, and I am doing my best to flush that DNA. Just love her.
Yes.
But he was horrible. Mm-hmm. And going back to when I was first contacted in 2002.
Yes.
Ever since I accessed those Akashic records, I black out every night. So I don't dream.
Ooh.
It's been almost 17 and a half years.
Ooh.
It's normal to me now just to go to sleep and just to come back. And I know I work in my sleep. I know I'm doing something.
Yes.
And I can't bring it back with me. But I see results when I come back into this reality.
Yes.
I also want to point out that on top of my orbs and seeing my aura, I also see that this is a very, very fake program, because when I stare hard enough into the sky, especially on a sunny day, I'm talking about, it looks like an LCD screen. It looks like a cell phone screen.
She said that the sky looks like an LCD screen. The sky looks like a screen.
It looks like an LCD screen. So when I'm looking, I'm seeing all my different orbs, and ever since I got rid of that narc that's out of here.
That's right.
Because when he was here, I actually started dreaming again, which was strange. As soon as he left, my dreams shut back off. So I'm like, okay, I'm back at work now.
Interesting.
And then certain orbs, like my spaceship orb, is always with me. And it almost looks like an all-seeing eye. And I forgot to mention that I'm an old primordial from Atlantis. I actually have a birthmark of Atlantis on my left hand.
Where's Saki? Saki's in here too. The primordials are coming back. Ooh, y'all are coming back strong.
Yeah.
That Atlantean is showing up. Yes.
We're here. We're here, and we're here to assist. But we're having a hard time out here because, I'm telling you, my mom, the first call we had, I understood him. My mom is a total nut. Mm-hmm. She was horrible. My father was the starseed. My father was the one who gave me all the jewels and was telling me, giving me messages when I was a small kid that I didn't even understand until now. Yes. And he was taken from us about 9 years ago.
I'm sorry.
But my mother, evil. So you guys out there that have those narc parents, understand that, we get it.
Yes.
We get it, because they are literally here to shut your ass down.
I think they pull you in. Yes. I think the narc parent is one of the main handlers. I think it's one of the main handlers that they send in to cause, especially for powerful groups that they know are coming here. I think they almost like pull you in, and they assign you to like the biggest narc possible to keep you perpetually confused or anxiety ridden. Yeah, I think they do.
They do. They try to kill the spirit. They try to, anytime, like, I love humanitarian work. I've been trying to get on my feet financially, and I'm telling you, my mother, that's the hardest one too, is when you have that parent that is like that, because your parent is supposed to be loving, your parents are supposed to be loving and kind, and so on and so forth. And when they are narcissistic and literally evil, you know, it skews you and messes you up, you know, and then they want to have total control over you.
At the same time, it's messing with you.
My lifetime.
Yeah, messing with your frequency, messing with your frequency, but wanting to still hold control over you so that you don't level up. And that's some sociopathic nonsense. But also, it's a contract. That contract has to be fulfilled as well, because for them to choose you and for you to come into that space with them, a contract has to be fulfilled. There's something I think they just meant to level you up. To personally, I think a lot of narcs level you up. Narcs are meant to level people up.
Yeah, they are. They do end up making you stronger through all the craziness.
Absolutely.
But yeah, hold on, I'm gonna let my daughter in the house real quick.
Okay.
Come on, I'm on an important call. Just go hang out with your mother for a second. But yeah, so I'm sorry, you guys.
No, don't apologize. Don't you ever apologize to mommies. We are all mommies. So many mommies and grandmas and everybody on here. You never apologize for being a mother. That's one thing that we will always. You got to pass every day for that.
Thank you. And then, you know, the thing is, too, I'm an old Atlantean. I'm so damn old, and I've been here so long. You guys, I was blue at one point, okay? Ooh. That's how long I've been down here. And I've just been here for so long. It's just, oh, my goodness. So I have a hard time sticking on subject. You know how it is.
I'm all over the place. You don't have to see with me. I won't ever question it. I'm like, okay, I can follow every path you go. I like it. Remember, I'm Sagittarius, though. Don't follow my lead. I'm all over the place.
I'm Aquarius.
Oh, we're like mates.
Oh
my God, I love you. I gotta give you a love note right now. I love you, Aquariuses. I never realized. I did, because one of my best girlfriends is an Aquarius, and I never put two and two together until I mated with an Aquarius. I love you. I think you're like our soulmate.
Also an Aquarius.
Are you serious? So you're doubling with an Aquarius?
Yeah, he's an Aquarius too.
Oh, I love it.
And not only that, Flora, but the body that I have, the avatar that I have is of an indigenous Native American witch, aka Black people.
Yes.
In the United States.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a natural redhead. She's a natural redhead.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's so much. Thank you, baby. Thank you.
This is beautiful.
It's so very much. Yeah, it goes deep. But again, back to that first caller in Black Orbs, and there was another guy in the flick on the chat. Me and him were going back and forth, and I noticed something. So with my orbs, right? Yeah. Okay. Pretty much, my orbs go in any direction that I look. Okay. So if I look, if I'm seeing them, which they're akin to the light, but I see them all the time. Yeah. So if I'm looking to the left, they'll dart off to the left. Ooh. If I look to the right, they'll dart off, you know. But there's this black one. Yeah. Now, when I was by myself, before I got with the ex there, you know, who was a fake twin. Let me throw that out there, too. That's very real, too. Yes. Them coming in and like, you think they're your twin flame, and they're really not.
Yeah, it's a setup. And then,
you know.
And then you get bitter. Some people get bitter. Yeah, some people get bitter, and then they don't want a twin when the real one comes. They mess you up for your real twin. So they'll send an artificial one that traumatizes you. Right. And then all of a sudden, you're like, heck no. I don't want a twin with anybody, because I know what the last one did. They do that purposefully.
Right, and see, and that's the thing with me. It's like, you know, I'm one of those people where I just don't stop, and I refuse to believe that everyone is the same, and I take chances whether I'm going to fall down or not. Yeah. The thing is, what I try to tell people is to try your best. We're all going to fall down and make mistakes, but try your very, very, very best to learn from those mistakes and watch your signs and listen to your guides and listen to your gut and believe people. When they show you who the hell they are, believe them. Oh, you know, and then, you know, I'm so loving and, you know, I'm part loving and then part destructive goddess. So there's a I am my rising sign is
loving
Gemini.
people don't traumatize.
So yeah.
We have to remind people all the time, and I had to remind myself, loving people don't traumatize you. They're not mean to you. They don't just dip out. That's why I was telling people about the twin flames.
Exactly.
A person who cares about you wouldn't dip out on you and give you no explanation. They wouldn't hurt you outright if they're good people. So good people don't do that. So
why like say hurtful, terrible things?
Yeah, why would they do that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not a good, that's a person that's traumatized, or they're sick, or agents or handlers of some sort. It's good when they leave. I prefer that people like that leave, but that should also be a detail of someone's...
I literally had to cast him out because day one I've had them stalk me. My mother used to stalk me.
Wow.
You know,
see?
2 of my ex-butts would stalk me. I mean, call my job, talk about me, try to like sabotage everything so people wouldn't mess with me. It was just.
They were on a mission.
Yeah.
They were on a mission.
It's traumatizing, but I just refused to. Yeah. Straight mission. I see what it is now. That's why I'm so, I'm just so happy for my father's genetics. Because if it wasn't for him and what he, not only instilled in me DNA-wise, I don't know where
he gifted you.
I would be.
Yeah, He gifted you. That's beautiful. That was a contract you both took on.
And then when he passed,
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to mention something. Portals. You guys mentioned portals. Now, I see a lot of those.
Ooh.
Now, when my dad passed, I got that quote-unquote angel light.
Yes.
I see portals opening up around me all the time.
See? This is what I'm talking about.
Teeny tiny little things.
Yes.
And they just kind of like open it. I'm so used to seeing stuff like
You're
you guys
seer.
like
you don't have a veil on. That's also why you're not allowed to remember your dream, probably because you're doing so many things. They can't. It's almost like they have to keep people. There's certain things that you are interfacing with that you aren't allowed to hold the memory, because if you did, you would be inceptible by Willy Wonka and his goons, his League of Dooms.
Yeah.
They would come.
It would be too. It would just be too much.
Yeah, and they would access it.
Because I read that a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody was saying that when you have a real hard job down here, a really, really hard job, then when you go off into the realm, you don't get to bring it back. But I see results.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I see results when I wake up the next day.
You see ghosts. You see ghosts, spirits, essence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? Now, I don't see full-on manifestations. My daughter does.
Does she really?
My daughter sees full-on manifestation.
Your daughter does. Yes.
She does. Okay. I just see the orbs, which the orbs are souls.
They're versions of them, yes. That's how you see. That's how you perceive them.
Body.
She can actually see the actual forms.
Yeah.
She sees the full-on manifestation of them.
She sees them.
This is beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she sees them, and she used to be afraid of them, but she's not, because I told her, for the most part, ghosts are because in my opinion, ghosts and spirits are different. Free spirits kind of do what they want to do. Ghosts, on the other hand, are usually
stuck,
changed due to confusion, due to they're like an emotional stain that is
yes, they are. They're the stamp of the energy that had coexisted at a point that they haven't left. There's still the residue still there. Yeah, very much so. Yes.
Like the movie Mama. Remember the movie Mama?
Yes.
In the very beginning, it gives you a statement, and that's basically what it says about ghost versus, the spirit.
Absolutely.
Let me see. What do I have on here? Ooh.
Yes.
Now that I got you on here. Okay,
yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not watching the chat right now, so I'm trying not to take up too much time.
Yeah.
But now I talk to my spirits up in here, pretty much like they're here. I just talk out loud to them. My kids know about it and everything. And I argue with them sometimes because, I'm new school in a way. Like, all these parables and all these different signs and all this different stuff coming in, it's like archaic to me. I'm like, look, it's been this long, and y'all been dragging me through all these different lessons. Okay, let's just talk, because, I'm getting upset. Mm-hmm. And I got real pissed one day, okay? I got so pissed that I actually made contact with an ET.
Ooh,
And
yes.
this is what's weird for her.
Yes.
It was a copper colored, the same color that I am, copper colored individual, but it was male, and its face kept changing like an LED screen.
Ooh.
It just kept changing, like to different black men's faces.
I was trying to find a one that fit.
Have you heard of anything like that?
Yes, they do that. Well, your perception, okay, I will say this. What happens is that they're changing, they'll do this. Almost like, okay, let me liken it to a gray. A gray doesn't like, it will holographically change.
90 seconds.
Oh, hold on. For anyone who's calling in, I'm going to close up the lines, but usually when a gray is seen, it's seen as a owl or as a deer. It changes the way it looks in order to make you more comfortable. There are groups that eat extraterrestrials. Yes, extraterrestrials will do that. They will change and morph their visual for you to make you more comfortable. That's why some people say, I saw Jesus. I saw Jesus, or I saw a blonde hair, blue eyes.
Yeah. When I accept that kosher record, that the quote unquote angelic being that I saw at the end, because I know we don't have a whole lot of time, so I can't get into the whole you did.
Yeah.
You know, but the angelic being that I saw at the end looked like what you would perceive as the Black Jesus, which would be the closest thing that would be able to connect to me.
Yes.
But since I'm smarter than the average bear, and I vet things out and do my research, I've been doing 17 years of research ever since that first contact.
I love it.
Ever since.
I love it.
And I also want to throw in that when the fall, I do my research. I get up like when I come on here. And you guys are wonderful in the chat. You guys have so much information. I thank you guys so much because without you guys, I would not be able to remember me. Thank you. 10 seconds. Everybody can hear that. Thank you so much because the type of being that I am, it's very hard for me down here, you guys. And so I depend on the children of the earth to help me remember me so I can get back to myself.
Right on.
Get rid of this thing down here. I've been down here so long, you guys, like, I don't know what exactly it is. I know I have something to do with it.
Yeah.
I have something to do with what's going on down here, and I'm trying to fix it. So again, I thank you, Flora, and I thank everybody else, because by me reading and connecting with you guys and having these conversations, it's helping me remember.
That's right.
Because this is a hard thing. I almost feel like, I'll just put it out there.
Yes.
I'll just put it out there. I don't know if I am of Gaia or if I'm actually it. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure, and I don't like to claim things until I'm sure.
Yes.
But the thing is these things, whatever they are on me. They are on me, and it's like I almost feel like they have me in prison somewhere, and they don't want me to get out.
Maybe.
Because if I get out,
it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap here. It's a wrap. Everything's coming out.
And I'm escaping. Yeah, it's like I'm escaping. It's like I'm getting out. It's like whatever that I'll just put it like this: that divine feminine energy that they try to erase out of all major religions.
Yes.
That's what I'm rocking with.
Woo!
And the thing is,
Primordials back on Earth.
Yes, by all of you remembering, by all of you waking up. And back in 2002, I was saying to myself when I first came into this, because there was no social media, I didn't have any idea. I was a lonely alien. My orbs would pop up in my face and say, hey, it's okay. You're fine. You're doing this. You're great.
I love it.
And I'd be like, yeah, I love you guys too, but this is a lonely journey. And now, back then I just made a wish that this would spread. What I knew would spread.
That's right.
To everyone.
That's right.
It would just spread like a virus. And you know what? It's been almost 20 years, but I'm seeing it now.
Ooh,
I get to see it.
Yes.
I'm watching people wake up, and now it's normal. We can have these conversations and not feel judged and not feel horrible, like we're crazy psycho people.
Yes,
they
caught up.
It's beautiful, wonderful.
Absolutely. They caught up to you.
Yeah, but whatever it is,
you did a good job.
It's like it's on my ass.
You probably, that's also why you
but
don't
I
drink.
ain't scared, so that's the thing. I ain't scared because, like, look, at the end of the day, I intuitively know you cannot exist without me. You're parasite.
That's right. They
So
need you to exist.
Shit,
Yeah.
I ain't scared of shit. You did the worst you could fucking do. I've been down
That's
here in
right.
this shit for so long. What more can you do?
Yeah, that's true. It's like they
What
need
more can
you.
do?
You don't need them. They need you. So
Yeah.
that's what I tell people all the time. I was
Yeah,
like,
exactly. They need all of us.
they
really.
do. If they
They
wanted,
need all of it.
because a lot of people are fearful, like, oh, the extraterrestrials will take people out. They won't. They are feeding off of you. They have agendas. You're part of the blueprint of why they are able to do what they do. So why would you get rid of the builders of the building that you're building? Do you know what I mean? It makes no sense.
I don't know. I don't even look. I'm put it like this.
Yeah.
Now, even with me knowing that I'm an old primordial and all that shit, and with this
Word.
with this Atlanta tattoo and everything that I
Yeah.
know, and my demonic ass damn kids that I'm aware of, I know that you're connected with me when I say that.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, you can't get rid of the original.
You can't. Nah.
Come on, you can suppress it,
That's it.
but you can't get rid of it.
Nah. You need it.
And it's like, I don't even, look, I don't fuck with shit I don't understand, okay? And I'm something else.
That's right.
And I don't mess with anything that I don't truly understand. I don't, because I understand it. Even though I exist in the capacity that I do, I know that there are others that exist in a higher capacity than me. It doesn't end with me. So with that being said, I don't mess with things I don't understand. And I don't understand why these things would mess with old primordial beings. Why would you do this?
They're foolish.
And more importantly, what kind of being? I don't know what went wrong. I don't know where we went wrong. I apologize to Humanity.
Well, Atlantis, you know, Atlantis was, remember, yeah, y'all Atlanteans got buck wild. The Atlanteans got buck wild at one point.
You said what now?
The Atlanteans at one point went buck wild, technology-wise. And a lot of...
Well, you know what? Tote.
Yeah.
Tote. Let me get on that, and I'm gonna let you guys go.
Yeah,
I want to get back, and I want to see the feedback from everybody else.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm gonna put this out here again, you guys. I know I intuitively know that my people were on bullshit down here, and that's why my old ass is here again to put it into to my fucking people. Okay, the ones that ain't right. Okay?
That's right.
Now I do want to mention this real quick. Tote and the Emerald Tablets. Tote. When Atlantis went down, guess who survived? So I don't know what the hell happened to the rest of us.
That's true.
But Tote ass survived, so I really don't know what the negative is.
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm glad you brought that up.
I've been watching some video.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, y'all. I know I just be talking. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
I love it.
And I'm just trying to get this out because I really want some feedback from you guys.
I love it.
Kelly, can you get me Maya?
I love it. This is beautiful. I love when the Atlantean,
So any
Atlantean representative coming in to bring that food. Yep. They survived. That's true. And that was a reminder. Thoughts survived in order to remind us of that. I think it was just almost like a residue that was here. They had to survive in order to remind us of that existence. Because without them, many of that memory might have been lost. Yeah.
True, but see, something's sketchy. And I you know what? I'm not sure, but something's sketchy. I would have to send you. I'm gonna I guess go to your Patreon and email you or try to send you this video series I have.
Please
and again,
do.
you guys, I vet stuff out. I don't just take it and run.
Yeah.
But something ain't right here
Please share.
with that character, and I really don't know what to make of it. Basically, Tote survived. He comes over and sets up in Kemet.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of people really got to start reading and understanding, this planet and, how things really work down here, because everything is ass backwards and everything. They have lied to us so much, especially with Black people out there, indigenous, natives. We are Aboriginal, just like they have Aboriginals down in Australia. They were Aboriginals here in America.
Absolutely.
And we are it.
And that's a lie that they try to tell.
Happen.
Yeah, that lie can't hold
Black
anymore.
and Indian were interchangeable.
They were the
I got
same
another
being.
spirit in here that's getting real excited. Hey, baby. Spirit on the side of getting real excited over here. Okay, let me bring it real quick.
Yeah.
But anywho, if they lied to the indigenous aboriginals, and when I grew up, I always looked at African women and that aesthetic, and I never understood why they looked like them.
You didn't connect to it.
And I was upset that I did not look like them. I thought I was funny looking.
Because it was a
and
lie.
Now, all these years later, now I find out.
There's a lie. Africans don't even see us here in the Americas, because I say Americas because a lot of us are, you know my concept. I think a lot of us were shipped from South America, all and distributed through Central and North America. Yeah.
We were.
Yeah. So they look at us like we're not them. They look at us. A lot of Africans will look at us and say, we don't look genetically like you.
And it's because we're not.
We aren't. We're not the same genetic breed. This landmass right here is the oldest landmass on the planet, the Americas. It's not the other way around. I love Africa. Me studying Africa got me to this point, so I always will love Africa. Yes, this is the mother continent.
Everybody needs to understand.
Yes.
It came from the other way. It wasn't we came from Africa. And I'm not saying the slave trade didn't happen, because it did. It just did not happen in the capacity that we are being taught.
I agree. And, woo, yes. Tell them. Yes.
And then we're already here. So the Aboriginals, now keep in mind, everybody, Aborigines, just like down in Australia and New Zealand, some of them have been completely wiped out.
Well, that's why it's burning.
It's clearing.
Yeah, they're clearing up in Australia right now. Yeah, it's clearing up because of that.
Yeah, if you look at you and me, we look alike, okay? So, and I don't have my real picture on my little avatar here, but we look alike. Like we come from Brazil, South America, something like that.
That's right.
Red people. And what was I getting ready to say? I almost lost my train of thought. But basically, they just told us, as Aborigines, if you look at us, we look like Aborigines. We look closer to the people in, like, Australia, that skin color.
Absolutely. They've mistaken me for Aboriginal. A lot of times they'll think that I'm if there are people who came here, I was like, oh, you're mixed with the Aboriginal because I look like them. And that is also why, like I said, Australia is dealing with a clearing and cleansing because their celestial family's back. I already said it. They're clearing up because they sent criminals over there who disseminated abuses and killed off a lot of the population. And then the other population is suffering from addiction, from a lot of the chemicalization that came on with others bringing things that they knew would mess with the minds of these very pristine endocrine people. So their beings are there. So the Celestials are back on land trying to reestablish the matriarchy. So it's going to be very interesting. Australia's right on front stage right now.
That's what I'm here for. I love my men. I truly do. But the matriarchy, there needs to be a balance here.
It does.
Because what's going on the planet right now makes me sick. I have a hard time. Dealing. I have a hard time sleeping at night knowing that there are people sleeping on the street, that people are being sickened on purpose and receive medical help, that children are starving. I mean, I feel it, but what the earth feels, I feel. Absolutely. And I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. These are not
earthling males, but let's state this first, C-Star. You know this and I know this. These aren't earthling males. These are unnatural males that were genetically homogenized, and also those have been programmed by those. These aren't natural males. Natural males are protective of their female counterparts. They're very protective. They wouldn't hurt children. They wouldn't rape women. They wouldn't rape children or animals. These are non-humanoid males that were co-created purposefully to keep a foot on the neck of the natural women that are here. So I don't apologize to any natural male, because the ones who are doing the heinousness aren't from here. They're not natural. They were genetically homogenized. There's no natural male that does that to children, women, or animals. Hello? Cesar? Hello? Uh-oh. Did she go? What happened? Uh-oh. Are you there? What happened? Of course, as soon as I get all fired up. Cesar, are you there? What happened? What happened? Oh, they dropped the call. Of course, C-Star, they dropped your call. Did I get a little too saucy? Did we start going into the primordial return? Did this hurt some of the dark reptilian and Masonic families? Did this hurt your feelings that you won't be able to hurt women anymore? Did this hurt your feelings that you won't be able to rape babies anymore and utilize them for fodder? Does this hurt your feelings that you won't be primarily the home court advantage bastards that you've been? Well, if that hurts your feelings, then it is what it is. We're taking back the planet and we're reestablishing a healthy matriarchy, which is in alignment with a healthy patriarchal stance. We're not coming over men. We're staying in balance with males. So if you're not about that life, then yes, it would hurt your feelings, and that's why you removed one of the primordials. But can't stop, won't stop, because it doesn't matter if she's not on here. She's still on the planet, and is a whole lot like her. So you should get acclimated to the new Earth, because Mother Gaia is a female, and she will reestablish the mothership on her planet again. And children and animals and trees will be safe once again, because all of them are being omitted. Can't stop, won't stop, nasties. Sorry, C-Star, they were so rudely kicked you off the channel. But let me take on another caller. I'm going to take the last caller, which is 2089. You're on the line with Florbrone. Peace, family. So rude. And I ran out of cherries. 2089. You're on the line with Florbrone. Peace, family. Hello. 2089. Are you there? Are you there? Okay. 5639. Are you on the line with Florbrone? Peace, family. 5639.
Hello?
Peace, peace.
You can hear me, Claire?
Yes, yes. Hey, Sunstar. Peace.
Oh, it's me. Hey, it's Scout.
Who is it? Oh, Scout. Hey, Scout. Have you been out in the mid? I haven't seen you. Have you been in our timeline? Have you been traveling in space? I haven't seen you for a while. Where have you been?
I've been out in space. I'd agree to that.
Yes, yes. So what's going on, Scout? What's going on in the mix, in the universe?
Well, nothing new. I just know that, mainly how I go about everything is usually what goes on when I sleep. Mm-hmm. And I know that a lot of the energies have been kind of like all over the place. Mm-hmm. So when I go to sleep and I have dreams that are just all over the place, yes. There's like no synchronicity, no nothing. That's how I know like the energies are wild and all over the place. A bunch of non-physical garbage is going on.
Oh wait, hold that thought 1 second, Scout. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry, Scout. Hold on 1 second. Abu Dhabi, I haven't seen you. I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, Scout. I'm sorry. Abu Dhabi, what's your last 4 digits of your number? And I'll take you after Scout. Abu Dhabi, what's your last 4 digits? Just put them in the queue and I'll pick you up afterwards. Okay, Scout, sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. I don't really know what to say. We just haven't spoken in so long.
I know. And when you come about, I also see, what's her name? I also see your partner in crime come about. Like whenever she shows up, the surfaces, you say, not Saki. Wait, who's the other sea star I always talk to?
Oh no. That's a different being.
Oh.
You're talking about narcissist, were you not? Mm-hmm.
Oh, is it?
Took a while, but
oh,
I figured that out.
Okay.
And like doctors do, I cut that dying flesh off.
Is that the one we're talking?
Okay,
so that's what I think. Okay, that's the one I was talking. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She had to go.
Okay.
Everything was fine at first, and then it's just whoever she got involved with, they altered her mind.
Okay.
And
a handler
it didn't go over.
Oh.
It didn't go over well.
Wow. I'm sorry.
I mean, I gave her chance and time to, do better.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We are here to do better and be better.
Okay.
But if you don't want to do that and you are impinging on, my love and my frequency and my state of mind, you got to go.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. Well, we have to clear. What is not for us, we have to clear out. Absolutely.
Right. And yeah, and then she also did wrong because she came after me and my brother. She thought that it was okay to try and text me and my brother, which was a low blow, and that's not something you should do due to a star incarnate, because I will call upon the cosmos and all the 88 heavenly bodies.
Oh.
And she was warned beforehand about doing stuff like that to people who are innocent, and I always predict the future with my words, so I didn't know it was going to be me and my brother that she was going to do that to, but I had already told her, don't mess with the innocent, because retribution will be divine and swift.
It always is.
She lied to us and acted like she was hiding her hand and whatnot, and we saw what she was doing, and we found out. It was bad, because it was like, we believe in you.
I'm so sorry.
We believe in you.
I'm so sorry. But this is the way of the Matrix, Sometimes things like this happen.
Yeah, that I'm used to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because, people sometimes we start off with, we think that it's going to be long-standing, but there's only sometimes it's only for a moment in time. It's not necessarily for long-term, and everybody has to go their own ways.
Right.
And this was one of those.
She was going to be a really good friend. She was growing and everything, but I just feel like a lot of what was going on with her and her family and that boy and all that.
Do you think it's a handler?
I don't know. She just wasn't the same anymore. He had to have been. I mean, I could tell that she had changed the first time she went down to Miami with him, because I couldn't see her irises anymore. Like, it was rare that I would see her irises, and her eyes were black.
Yeah.
A lot, all the time. And it was strange, because it's like, she's looking at me, she's laughing, we're talking, we're hanging out, me, her, and my brother, but it's weird when it just looks and feels so off.
Aww.
And I have a habit of, I make a lot of eye contact when I'm talking to people, even if they're strangers.
Yes.
So me noticing that I can rarely see her irises has really made me uncomfortable.
Oh my
God. I was always questioning, is that her or is that another person?
Yeah.
And then to go along with her actions, I mean, it was like obviously not her. So.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I don't like hearing that. I'm so sorry. Well, you know what? C'est la vie, right? We move forward. You're good. You're still traveling to time and space.
I forgot to tell you. Yes. It was so cool. I had seen you a while back in one of my dreams for the second time.
Yes.
But I'm certain it was actually you this time, not imposter.
Ooh.
We were going to, at first we were in a car, and we were heading to a meeting place, a secret place, because we were trying to gather a group that was crossing over.
Yes.
How you go and save the groups and make sure the enemy stays behind lines and whatnot. So we were doing that. We were going to rescue a group in one of these mystic woods that I somehow always have recollection of. And I remember I was singing this song, and I was telling myself, I was like, I hope she hears me, like you actually hear me when you're waking from, the dream world. But we completed said mission, which was grand for me.
Yes.
Since I'm always lurking all over the place and doing all these other things.
Yes, jumping in and out of different portals, different timelines, different time frames. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's why your name is Scout.
Yeah,
it
does a number on my brain. I can tell you that it does. I wake up extra tired, so I don't know where I am anymore.
Absolutely.
And I have to tune back into where I am.
Well, I mean, I guess that's just, you're there, you're almost, like I said, you're Scout. You go to different places to see and vet out places as well. And a lot of times that's a lot of work, especially in the ether, or just energetically taking your zest and going in and out of portals, wormholes. So you're going to feel exhausted.
Right, and I'm so used to casting a bunch of spells and messing with elements and, opening portals, closing portals that shouldn't be opened, and doing all the otherworldly stuff that I'm never tired, but when I go from place to place to place, then that part's really draining.
Yes. But then you come back and you are able to detail. That's why I love it, because you can tell us where we should go. I'm excited to see how this is going to play out post Polsha. You'll be able to tell us what safe spots we should go to, or what places or pinnacle places we should be. It's going to be exciting.
I mean, yeah, very much so. Also, I had a dream where I came here with someone. It was all the basically all the ships were descending towards Earth. Yes. So it was kind of like a bunch of pods. We were all in pods. Yeah. There was a lot of pods, and in each pod there were 2 people. And I remember in my pod it was me and some other girl, but she had not woken up, which was weird because you're supposed to be awake while entering the atmosphere, and she was not awake.
Wow.
So when we came to the atmosphere, we were landing, but I get excited going to new places, so I popped out early.
You were out.
And was like, hey, yo,
you're like, please.
Let me fly around. Do a little reconnaissance. Let me look about.
Yes, yes.
And I came across this portal that was open, and it was messing with like the reality around it. It was turning simple things into like traps and like voids that was like draining and zapping people and trees and animals.
Yes.
And I was not having it. So, I had to put an end to that real quick.
Good. That's what I'm saying. Yes, yes. There's some of these wormholes. It's like mini wormholes. There's like micro wormholes too that are around, especially when you.
And because I didn't realize I could see them in my sleep. Yeah. That was the thing. I didn't know I could see them in my sleep. I usually just feel them, but I didn't realize I was going to be able to see one eventually.
Yes. This is awesome. I like that you can see it.
Yeah, and that's why I found it interesting that you were talking about wormholes recently, because it's like sometimes I can see them. Well, it's weird because it almost looks like the air is vibrating and like kind of like turning in on itself.
Yes.
In a specific area. It's like a lot of, like how when you see the static and you stare in a direction for a long time, it's like that. You can see that it's like sitting still and turning in on itself.
Yes, yes, yes. And
then you had the woman who came on earlier. She was talking about the sky looking like a TV screen.
Oh yeah.
And I agree because I only see that when I look straight up. I have to be looking straight up, and it looks like every now and again it's like, I don't want to say flashing, but it's like the tone of the sky changes, as if someone's like changing the coloration or the setting of the TV. And it's weird because I only see it if I'm looking straight up.
Because it's all a hologram. This is all a holograph. We're in a holographic. We're probably in a holographic like a corridor where it's all a hologram.
I'm here to delete all the garbage in the hologram. And
then
delete the hologram.
Do what you do. Do what you do, Scout. Just go delete, boom, delete. That's what they're doing to the agents right now. There's somebody there's an over. I don't know who they are or to aspects of us, but they're deleting a lot of these agent type of Smith beings. They're deleting them. So people are waking up the next day. It's like, where'd this person go? Mm-hmm. And some people don't even have the full memory of the person ever being there. So that's how I know it's happening. So they're deleting them. It could be your people. It could be people that are just, because we're at the end of a cycle. We're going through a flip. So it just means that it's probably the end of the cycle.
Well,
they're not necessary.
Yeah. Yeah, and my age is coming up, the age of Aquarius.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey.
Very excited. Very excited.
I'm
flood the planet with all the information needed.
Could you imagine just access to a multitude of anything and everything that we basically are uploaded with everything desired or needed or required, and that even the aspect of aging or getting sick.
And you can do it, and you get to have access to that while conscious. And not having to feel like, and not having to constantly, be going off to sleep to have the information that's already been there for you. That's yours.
That's awesome.
I have to actually get in contact with planets and star systems and feel energy to know and remember certain things that I already knew.
That's right. It's off the chain. It's already starting, but it's going to be an amazing time as Mother Gaia clears off. That's what I'm saying. All these things that they're doing out there isn't our business. Let them clear off shop. They're going to clear out our shop. They're going to get rid of each other. They're going to X each other out, which is fine with me. That isn't our business. And then Mother Gaia does the rest. She flips and she clears. And then we have a better coexistence here.
I've seen different places and different aspects in which she has cleaned out often in different parallels. Like especially the one when you talked about the body of water, the planet of water.
Yes, yes.
Already been there.
Oh,
Already
it's
been
beautiful.
there.
It's beautiful.
And it was no joke because once again I was flying and wondering why there wasn't a lot of land. And I was
love
like,
it. I love it.
She did what she needed to do.
It's beautiful.
She did what she needed to do.
Yeah, we're that's where we're going. So, you know, at the end of the day, as much as we have to purge, clear and stuff, a lot of us got sick and we needed to purge. Oh, wow. That's cool. As much as we're purging and clearing, everything is going to turn out exactly as it's supposed to be. We're right on time. All right, my scouty. Oh, everyone said 11:11. Everything's 11:11.
Yeah.
Well, keep me
Yes,
updated. Keep doing what you do. Keep traveling. I'm looking forward to seeing how everything goes in accordance for the next couple months. And I'll definitely I'll definitely see you back on IG live.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
If you guys need any assistance from the planet, you know, just let me know. I'll call upon the nebula if need be.
Woo! This is it. We're going celestial. We're going galactic. All right, my love. Have a masterful evening.
Ma'am.
I'll talk to you. Peace.
You too.
Okay. Where's my Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi, where are you? What's your last number, Abu Dhabi? I was gonna pick you up. I know you were. I'm gonna take the Abu Dhabi as the last caller. Abu Dhabi, where are you? Abu Dhabi, where's my Abu Dhabi? Abu Dhabi, where are you? I think this is you. I want to make sure. Abu Dhabi, are you 0934? They may not be on here. 0934. I know you waited so long because Abu Dhabi is the one who was supposed to call. Let's see. Where are you, Abu Dhabi? Are you still here? Did you leave? I know your time frame is off. Where are you? Hold on. Is it 0934 Abu Dhabi? Oh, okay. Hold on, I'm waiting for Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the one I made that's why I did the whole calling thing tonight, because Abu Dhabi asked me to do it. So I want to make sure I get Abu Dhabi in as my last call. We'll do it again. But Abu Dhabi, where are you? Where are you? I want to see you. Is it? Am I correct? 0935? Is that 0935? 0934, right? Is that Abu Dhabi's? Your phone is possessed by Willy Wonka. Welcome to our world. All phones are report. Is it an 09394? That's Abu Dhabi's number? Do you guys remember? Is that his number? I don't see anything. Okay, Carla is okay. Carla, that's she, right? Where's Abu Dhabi? I think Abu Dhabi bounced. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Abu Dhabi, you bounced? Oh, my love. I'm gonna have to make a special phone call to Abu Dhabi one day. Okay. All right, let me just take in the last caller I picked up, and then I'll do this, because I know 516, I picked you up. 2089. I'm going to line with Flurbo. Peace, family. 2089. Where is it going? 2089 on the line. This will be the last call of the night, unless Abu Dhabi comes back in the house. 2089. You're on the line. 2089. Going once. Going twice. Are you there? Oh, yeah, he never sent it, Musa? Okay. Okay, hold on. Oh, let's see. Pat-a-rat-tat. Pat-a-rat-tat, you're not even in the queue. Okay, so 516, you're not picking up. 516, are you picking up? 516? Going once, going twice. 516. 516. Thanks for deleting. Who deleted you, Captain Snitch? Switch. Captain Switch, nobody deleted you. I didn't delete anybody. I don't see, okay. I think this is a sign that, okay. Hold on. I think Captain Switch is upset. You're in the call? Kay, which one are you, Kay? What's your last 3 digits? Or what's your first 3 digits, Kay? Oh, there you go. Okay, Kay, I got you in. All right, Kay, got you in. Hey, Kay. Hey, Mama.
Hi.
How you doing, Mama?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's the little one?
She's good. I'm holding her right now.
Aww. So what do you think about the conversation? What do you think? How do you think everything's going?
I thought Barefoot's conversation was very eye-opening. Yeah. And then that was very scary. I had to put some dragon blood. Yes. And just like that was really intense.
It was.
And then the Aquarian, I was like really blown away by what she was saying and how she was blue. I thought that was very interesting.
Yes, yes.
I also like a whole like the narcissistic thing.
Yes.
Like I feel like I don't know if I'm like surrounded by them or something, but I do feel like my dad is, because like my dad has done some horrible things to my mom and to me.
I'm sorry.
And he's like, I can say that he's very, very detached to his kids. But then like there's like sometimes like he seems like he's there, but he's not. And then there's like other times where he'll like say things like he's like awakened. And he's also a Gemini, so it's super weird. Like I've moved out of the house and everything, and now they like, you know, they're Haitian, so they want me to move back.
Oh, they do. Oh, yes, that's Creole.
Like that.
How dare you move out? How dare you? Why you break up the family, Kay? Don't do that. Creole people like to be underneath each other. It's wild.
I broke up the family bad. I'm not even gonna say, like, I wish that I had known about the whole blood type thing because then I would have chosen like a partner that had O positive, because my partner that I'm with right now, he is E positive. And I was praying, because I manifested my daughter. I spoke her into existence. I was like, I want to have a baby. And then I had her, and I was so happy. And I was like, I hope she's O positive. And then I found out that she was like ABO incompatibility. And then I was like, wow, everything Fleur said was true. Because like, I was like, oh my gosh, we are 2 different beings, like legit 2 different beings. Yes. And we cannot be together. But like, I feel like my partner is also in the military. So I feel like if I want to leave, like, I don't feel like I'm narcissistic. Yeah. But like, if I want to leave, I feel like I can't. Because I feel like a Scorpio will not let the Aquarian leave at all.
A Scorpio? Oh, he's a Scorpio? Oh, they're possessive, and they will hold on. They're almost as bad as Cancers. They will hold on. They will grip you in their tail and sting you over and over again.
Yeah.
I think the hard thing about it, because I don't even know if Scorpios are compatible with Aquarius. I don't know that you are.
They're not, and that's the thing. Like when sorry, like I'm all over the place.
No, that's okay.
When I first met him, he, like, I don't even know what I was doing. I was in college, and like I was like just thinking about myself or whatever, and then like I was just like, oh, you know what? Let me just talk to somebody. And then like he just came into my life, and he's like, oh, he's in the military. And my dad was also in the military. My grandfather was also in the military. And now my brother's going into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very familiar. And like for some reason, I felt like I had a block, and I didn't even think about it until like my dad was telling me, and I was like, you know, like, oh, like did they send him for me? But like I kind of feel like it's too late now because like I'm so deep into it.
It's not too late for
and,
anything. Like, no, it's not too late. No.
But,
no, I disagree. It isn't too late, my love. Yeah. You know why? It's because...
But I mostly call to talk about...
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I was saying, well, I want to give you hope because I think a lot of times, sometimes the little ones required a certain alchemical mix. Like I always say, you know, you ever bake a really good cake and you wouldn't eat the eggs alone, or you wouldn't eat the milk alone, or the baking powder alone, but the ingredients together, even though some of the ingredients can be like curdled milk or curdled, it will make a fantastic cake, right? A beautiful cake, a gâteau of dream, right? So it's the same in relationships.
Yeah.
You see that beautiful, I can hear the beautiful cooing of the little one that you're holding. What was necessary for her was him. And that's maybe why he came, to gift you her. Could be some sort of contract that you guys agreed that would be something that he gifted you. So maybe his coming with you had to do with more bringing her to you than anything else.
That could be, because what's interesting about her is that I told myself, I said, you know, because I knew about the different blood thing, and I was like, you know what, if this baby is not meant to come in this world, then, you know, my body will do what it naturally is supposed to do. But my body protects her, and then when she came out, I'm like, okay, I have an O positive baby, and when they told me she was a B positive, I almost passed out. Because I was like, oh my God, like how? The placenta protected her?
Yes. No. But as long as she's positive, you can have any baby that's positive. If she was negative roost, then it would be more of an issue. But you can carry negative roost as well. Your womb can, because you're a positive roost. The only time you'll have difficulty is if it's negative roost and it's a mother who's negative. She's the problem with a positive roost child, because she will kill off the baby. Her antibodies will actually fight that offspring in her womb. So you're fine. She's a B. That makes her very special too. It makes her mind very special, the way she learns. She'll be very sensitive. So, and I think it's beautiful. So remember, she's still you. She's still you, even though she has a B. That's still you. She comes from her O mother. So she still has a lot of that O quality to her, with a lot of specialty in how she sees things.
His mother also O. Sorry.
His mother's O as well?
Sorry.
Oh, well, his mother's O?
His mother O positive. Oh. Yes, his mother's O positive, but he came out B positive.
Interesting. Okay. So she's more of a passive O. She's a recessive kind of B, because you still have a lot of O in her. She'll be fine. She's perfectly fine. But I think you made a contract, you brought in a beautiful baby, and that's probably why he was here. And if you're feeling a need to free yourself from him, all you have to do is ask the universe to assist you. Say, if this relationship isn't for my highest and greatest good with my daughter, then please allow a way for me to free myself from this with ease and without any conflict. And you'd be surprised. So if it isn't for you to be in that relationship, thank you, high vibration. If it isn't for you to be in that relation with this mate, if you ask, it'll allow you to be free without him and without any, sort of conflict. So you can do it easily and effortlessly, and also be supported, and also be financially comfortable. It can all come together. I'm an example of that, so you'll be fine.
Thank you so much. I don't know if someone's gonna come after me.
No. You can go ahead. You can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I wanted to talk about this dream that I had.
Yes.
Like, I'm just like the other Aquarian when she says that she it's just black and then she wakes up. I feel like I have like the same thing, but sometimes like I'll have certain dreams and they will come true, like into the matrix. But I had a dream like 2 nights before my husband left, and he in the dream I saw that all of us, well, not all of us, but, you know, like people that want to fight for the planet, I was there and I was saying how we were in a lab and we were talking about like this thing that we were going to use to save the planet. But the place that I went to was very, very, very secretive. And like, there's like these beings that they want to eat like humans.
Yeah.
And so, in order for me to escape, the people put me in this, yes, it was a lab. Sorry, I was reading one of the comments.
Yes.
And in order for me to escape, the people put me into like this thing that kind of reminded me of like the Egyptian, like almost a casket
sarcophagus?
type of a
A
thing.
sarcophagus?
Where you have,
yeah.
Yes, almost like that. And you have to, like, I was like closed in it in order for me to escape from the beings that are trying to eat humans. But in the lab, they're trying to like do something to help humanity. And that's why I went there in the dream. And then I woke up from the dream after they closed me in that casket that kind of looked like one of the Egyptian thingies. And it was very, like, that dream kind of creeped me out because I saw a draconian in it.
Yeah. They ain't no joke. Draconians aren't jokes, yeah. So you were somewhere where to keep it real, and I'm glad that you mentioned this because this is not something you would choose to think about. There are a lot of these entities that food, for them, humans are food source, food flesh-wise. And that's just a fact. We think that we're the highest on the food chain. Actually, we aren't in the spectrum of, universally. So there are beings that farm. The planet Earth is used as a farm to some beings. And there was a show, there was actually a reporter, I saw her like 5 years ago. I haven't seen the show since. She talked about every 5 years, there's a ship that used to come here and go grocery shopping for humans. And that's when you get mass amount of people missing. And that's why they also want to clean up a lot of people too, as far as eating, because they want farm fresh humans, GMO free, grass fed, all that good stuff. So that's where that vegan, that's a bit of that vegan agenda too, to make humans a little cleaner for consumption.
Right.
But it's interesting, you want to go help save the planet. So you felt like going there was going to help. There was a way to help us? Did they have information for us?
Yeah, it was like this group of people in a lab, and they're like fighting to save the planet. And I guess I went there to receive something.
Yes.
And then in the dream, I don't know what happened, but I guess I received it. And then they were trying to help me escape because there was an alarm in the dream, and I had to leave. And they put me in this Egyptian-looking casket.
I love it.
And closed me in it, except the only thing, it wasn't like, I know the Egyptian caskets, like they close
Seal.
with the legs, but this time, my leg was like in a meditating position.
Ooh.
And like my arms were like crossed like the X, and then I go down the elevator to get out.
Ooh.
And as they close the door, and all I remember, and then I was like, oh, I need to tell you.
This is cool. This is cool. You're doing work. You're doing work in the other realms. You're doing work in the celestial realms. Listen, as above, so below. Any war that comes on Earth, believe it, we've already played it out above. So what you're doing is you're probably having a remembrance. I don't even know that's a dream. I think it's a remembrance of being somewhere assisting with, maybe we needed details. We needed to know what the blueprint was of what they're doing. You want to go do that. You about that life, Kay? What? See? You think just, you're a mama now. You think you're off duty. You're on duty still.
Okay, that's good, because I need to tell you, like, my mom, she tells me that one of her great aunts was a witch or something like that.
Yes.
And I sometimes, oh my God, I was going to tell you and I literally forgot.
What was, that means
exactly what I was going to say.
Well, that means they didn't want you to tell me.
And it was really good.
They didn't want you to tell me. That's
it was
interesting.
Something about the witches.
Oh, that's interesting. I love when they do that. They blocked it out. That's, they do that, right? They'll take it out of your mind. That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I had something to tell you about the witches.
That's good. Well, you'll tell me, because we'll talk anyway. You'll tell me when you remember.
Okay.
You'll tell me I want to know.
That's so annoying.
That was a message for me. They don't want you to tell me. Yeah.
The witches are no joke.
It's not the witches nowadays. We're talking about the witches from the ones that they try to. People always think that they were killing witches back in the days. They didn't get to the real witches. They got the ones that were like witch groupies. The ones that back in the days, those are the ones that were like eating man. Like men used to go in the woods and disappear.
Yeah.
So,
they Haiti in the Caribbean.
Yeah. So, people, they always tell stories about witches being burned. I was like, those weren't the real witches. Those were witch groupies who were trying to be witches. The real ones were consuming men or killing men off in the woods. They were, those are the ones that actually lived out in the forest and lived amongst the tree and were shape-shifting with the trees. Yes. Those were the real witches. They couldn't be caught. And they're transdimensional too. They go in and out of different dimensions through the portals of the trees. So that's interesting.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Mama, you'll be fine.
To end on a positive note,
okay.
I want to say that I had a dream about you saving my mom from my dad, because I do feel like she is a little bit brainwashed, because I feel like I have two parts of me. Like, I feel like I have a very, sweet side from my mom, but then I feel like for my dad, I have very dark, because they're both all positive, but I just feel like I have this very dark, hard, cold side, because my dad is exactly like that. And and on a positive note, I had a dream of where I saw you, and I saw you saving my mom, because I want to make this short, not long. Yeah. And you saved and you went into this purple room that was lit in purple, you saved her. I don't know how,
I would do that.
She was being abused in the dream.
I wouldn't let it happen.
And you saved her and brought her purple room. Yes.
Yeah, not on my watch.
Being abused by some men.
Yeah. Men will lose their breath messing with any women that I know or connected to anybody we know. No, they will. They'll lose their breath. Because, this too long and especially from a culture, we have a very similar culture. That's why we relate, is that coming from a very Creole culture, we've been learned to be more submissive. And that's, I can understand your mother, because culturally, it's all Latin cultures, to be honest. It's all Latin cultures. Latino women, Creole women, we're geared to be passive to males and to serve them and to put our needs and wants on a back burner, and sometimes we let the men do things for the benefit of just having them in our families. So that's very Creole, and unfortunately, a lot of us have been traumatized from seeing that, or going through that in our own relationships, or having parents who did it. So I'm grateful, at least in a spiritual realm, in the etheric realm, I was able to take her out of that. I would do that. That's exactly what I would do.
Yes, you did. And I want to thank you for doing that.
Aww.
Can I say one more thing?
Of course. Of course.
Okay, before the Disney Mermaid thing came out, I was listening to, I just wanted to listen to ancestral music because I wanted to connect. And I was listening to it, and then I started daydreaming, and I literally had a daydream of the mermaid. I forgot her name. I'm so sorry. The brown one.
The brown one or the new one? Ariel?
Mama Wata.
Oh, Mami Wata. Mami Wata. Yamiya.
I saw her.
Ooh.
Yes, I saw her. She came out of the water. Yeah. She was wearing gold or something.
That's Mami Wata. That's Mami Wata.
And then I saw all these brown women dancing around her, praising her. And then she pulled her hand out, and water came out, and she was cleaning the earth.
Oh, I'm getting chills.
And that was before the whole thing came out.
Oh my God, my spine. You shot something up my spine when you said that. I felt like my kundalini, when you just said that, that's truth. Whatever you just said, that's total truth. Whatever you witnessed, it's truth. It shot up my back when you said it. Like up my kundalini, I felt it shoot out of my back. Oh my gosh, you witnessed Jemmy Ja. Yes, she's true. She's an entity.
I saw her. She was beautiful. It was all these beautiful dark-skinned women. They were wearing no clothing, boobs all out.
That's right.
With gold, and they were dancing around her, and they were just praising her. And I was like, what? I was like, I don't know what I just witnessed. And then the next time you came on, you were talking about Ariel, and then I was like, why are they talking about mermaids? And then that's when I put the two and two together, and I was like, oh, whenever you do like a call-in, I'll probably tell you about it.
Absolutely.
And I saw her, and she took her hand out, and she pulled it out, and water came, and she said, I'm going to clean the earth. And she was cleaning it. And I think that's where all the flooding is coming from.
I agree. That is exactly, I agree. Yeah, you can have water. Here. Oh, hold on. I agree. And she's going to do that. The fact that you witnessed that also means you're probably from the Aquarian families. The only time you can witness her, because notice most people won't say they ever witnessed her. They may witness other Mer family. They may have an acknowledgement of their Aquarian connection, but you actually witnessed her. But O's have the connection, the positives have a connection to Mami Wata, Jemija, Isis. So it probably means you share the same lineage, you know? You have the same bloodline, blood lineage. Do you dream about breathing underwater? Do you swim?
Well, I haven't, because everything's just been like black, and then sometimes I'll have dreams. Okay. But I did have a dream like a long time ago where I saw myself in water, but I was like scared of it.
Okay.
Like,
it could be traumatized. You could have been traumatized.
But I remember when I was little.
Yeah.
Maybe. I have no idea. But when I saw that, I was so happy because I was like, wow, that was very, very powerful.
That's a big deal. That means for you to witness that, that's, I talk to a lot of people. For you to witness her, and I know it's truth because you gave me a physical reaction from your truth. That's how you know truth. Truth gave me a physical reaction, not from my front. You gave it up my kundalini, which means you witnessed her. That was her you witnessed. So from that being said, it means you come from that genetic, you come from her, not just from beings, not just from the aquatics. You come from her. You can't, just like certain spaceships or ships in the sky, you can't witness what you aren't a party to or what you don't match in frequency. Do you know what I mean? So you can only witness ships because you match the frequency of the ships that are above you. The fact that you witnessed her, that means you come from her. You're seeded from that blood lineage. That's interesting. I would
oh my God.
Take yourself and the baby to the water. Yeah, go to the ocean with the baby. You should start to do that before they ban us from the ocean.
I went there before she was born, and then after, I went there when I was pregnant because I had a traumatic event, so I went there because I was like, I need to be near the water. Yes. And then,
it's interesting.
And then
you went there
like a week.
So you went there after her?
Yeah, either a week. I think it was like a week.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying you went there. What made you go there after a traumatic experience? Was it just something that popped in your head to do?
It was, it popped in my head because something really bad happened with my family. So, and then that's when I was starting to manifest that I had to leave. That's where the whole narcissism thing comes in. Okay. Like, because my dad was just making me feel bad about the person I married. Okay. But he's the one that told me to marry him. But so he was making me feel bad. And long story short, I just decided, you know what, I need to go near the water to clear my mind, because I know you always say like the best place to go is near the water.
Always.
So I was like, let me go near the water.
Yeah.
And I went near the water, and then I think like a week later or something, I said, let me listen to some ancestral music to help me. And then that's when I saw it, and I was like, this is really nice. I even went out in the rain, and then the whole block went out of power, and it was only our block, not the other side. And I was like, what happened? And my mom was like, that was you.
Yeah. Your mom said that was you. Yeah. You went to the water, and then you had the connection to Mami Water show up. It's all relative. Yeah. And that is also a solidification that you need to go to the water whenever you need clearing or cleansing, and for her, they talk about baptism, because Christianity will say baptism, oh, baptize the baby. But what we forget is that baptism was really back in the days, the primordials would bring the babies into the ocean to be greeted by their inner earth or their waterway families. So baptism was adopted by Christianity, or the concept of it, of like washing away sins, when really it was clearing away the demons. It was a way to clear and reconnect to your family.
Well, I would love to clear.
Yes.
I should go there as soon as it gets warm in New York, because it's a little cold now.
Yes.
But I would love to go there.
Absolutely. Always, and do your baptism. Baptize the baby. Take her into the waterways, and also tell Yemiya to greet her, because that's one of hers. You're one of hers, so that by the nature of that, she's one of hers as well.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
That is I don't know, hearing that just makes me feel so much better about everything and how it's all rough.
Oh, it's all beautiful. It's a beautiful time, Kay. And you might have to clear one aspect in order to bring in another twin aspect. It's probably something, you're probably being called a twin. If I know you, it might be something around the corner. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
Oh, well, bring it on.
All right, family. So I'll let you go. Thanks for calling in, Kay. It was beautiful talking to you as usual. Have a beautiful evening. Bye, little one. Okay. Bye, bye, bye.
Little. Bye.
Peace.
Bye, Hopi.
I love it. All right, family. So this wasn't supposed to be a show tonight. We actually did a show. This is like when we do Aquarius. I did a show like we did Aquarius Rising. Do you know that? So you guys got a bonus Aquarius Rising, because this was an Aquarius Rising show. I was just coming on to talk about something, and we ended up doing a whole show. So I love it. So, and I'm grateful for everyone joining today. Oh my God, I got like 704 likes. Thank you, everyone. That's cool. Thank you for everyone joining today. I want you to send a lot of healing energy. We had a lot of truths coming out tonight. This was an amazing, listen, this was probably one of the most amazing, and it wasn't a show. It was just like a live call-in show, call-in feed tonight that we just decided to do. Abu Dhabi, let me throw out something. Abu Dhabi, next time, I'm just going to talk to Abu Dhabi, because he's the one who was actually asking me to do this. So Abu Dhabi, next time, I'll just do a call-in.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
It ended on its own. Listen, I didn't even end the show. The show actually just ended. Kay, you hung up. The show's not supposed to end until the show just ended on its own just now. How perfect is that? So thank you for everyone calling. Listen, this is everybody can see themselves in every person that called in tonight. And that's the wonderful thing about us coming together collectively and having these little kikis and these wonderful fielding together. We're all in a free reflection of each other. And just like the mama who called earlier to ask about the twin flames, we are that. We are that to each other. So every time I talk to my sister and I talk to my brother and we talk to another mother, we are connecting, we're twinning. That fielding and connection and getting back to our unity consciousness. Because after we discuss all this, we all realize that we're just one. We're the same being. We have the same likes, feelings, dreams, sometimes the same, very similar things that we go through. It's very similar. So, I know I wish I didn't have to go. I got to go and get some sleep, y'all. I ran out of cherries. Listen, we celebrated tonight. My champagne, my flute is empty. I ate all my cherries and I had my black walnuts. But let me say this, for someone who asked me, one of the mamas asked me who had fibroids, whether she wanted to fast. She wasn't able to fast and she was asking for something because she's had a hard time fasting. This is one of the things. I had a friend who really did ASIAC. I haven't even opened it. This is a herbal thing, ASIAC tea, which is really good for detoxing. If you ever never tried it, this is one of the number one things I love that she recommended years ago. So I have it in case I need to do a cleanse without fasting. I'm big on fasting, but this is a wonderful cleanse to also clear you out, reacclimate your body and balance you out. So if you ever get a chance, do the ASIAC tea. I think you do daily for a couple of days, like 14 days or something like that. It'll kind of clear you out if you aren't fasting. So it kind of gives you that fasting kind of detoxing effect. So this is for the mommy. I forgot who asked me. One of the mommies asked me. So this is it, the ASIAC tea. So if you need that, okay? And I think we're good, family. So thank you everyone for joining tonight. You did this, and Abu Dhabi. Y'all should thank Abu Dhabi, even though he didn't get a chance to talk. Abu Dhabi should be thanked for this because he's the reason why I did the call-ins tonight. So big up to Abu Dhabi, even though you didn't get the call, but I'll call you Abu Dhabi. You're fine. So everyone have an amazing evening. I'm gonna go. I ate all my snacks. I had an amazing time. The narcissists are going. The Agent Smiths are being dismissed. Everyone's being deleted. Delete. If they aren't being deleted, you're going to delete them. Push the delete button. Delete all those that are not for your highest and greatest good. And let's rock out this pole shift. I'm ready. I'm ready for us ushering us up into an Aquarian age. So just know that everything outside of you, if it doesn't have anything personally to do with you, mind your business. Stay in your own lane. Stay in your wonderful, wonderful macabre, your beautiful bubble, and coexist in your world and co-create your world from where you stand and what you desire. Stay out of others' business and make sure you don't push the X play button on their holographic war that they're trying to project, okay? So I'll come and reconvene to you. Thank you again. I love you. Have an amazing evening. And I'm glad you guys like my groovy glasses. So I will X out and say peace. Peace, family.